Your style and your flavor make the city rock. They must say the season come out with a bang. Coach means it. Best round here. Remember that.
Yes, people. So nice we had to do it twice. Welcome back to the Coaches S people. And this is your boy again, Rome, from the Fourth Official YouTube channel. Substituting again, like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and the Champions League final. We're back again. Welcome back. Welcome to the channel. All of the man that's been waiting. Sorry for being a little bit late. And again, another night of emergency. So bless up in yourself, people, for joining in. Fresh God as usual. Chris Smith, back again. Ian Campbell, all of the regulars. Grimley Family Production, up and running. Welcome back to the channel, people. Tonight, we're gonna have another great discussion. There are a few things that kick off overnight that we're gonna be talking about. We're gonna be talking about the Jamaica team. We're gonna be talking about the coaches for both Serbia and Jamaica, what both coach brings to the table. We're gonna look a little bit more in depth to the teams that Jamaica will be playing. We'll be talking about Iaasac Hayden. Now, you guys see the topic of the day. Iaasac Hayden says, just hold on, man. Just wait. Wait. I need to make a decision. Just wait. So as of now, what we know about Iaasac Hayden is he hasn't made a decision yet. Yankee Graham, bless up yourself. Manners. Show that up there big and bold. Brown man security. Manners, my friend. Guidance. Sports to the bone. Manners. I go do a massive shout out blip, you know. We're gonna shout out all of the people we can see in the chat. Talk to the people. How you guys doing? Yankee, Graham, bless up yourself, man. Blessings, Ian Campbell. You know, one of the people do right now, seeing that we still talk about football. One of the man them drop a comment and tell we all of the team that we support. Yeah, we know you support the Jamaica national team, but we know the club team you support, whether local or abroad. Make we know which team you support. Push them out there. Jerome 876, bless up yourself. Oh, Chin, Mr. Chin, bless up yourself. Manners. Mr. Chin, I asked what going with the coach. I know the coach get relegated, fam. We're still under the Premier League, but the coach get relegated, which is why I'm here. You understand? Don't worry your head, man. The coach will be back soon, better than ever. The coach will just deal with some business, making the coach's desk YouTube channel better for all you guys out there, all the subscribers and viewers. You know, we already know the coach's desk wouldn't be what it is right now without you viewers, without you subscribers, without you guys sharing the channel. Communicating and interacting every time we go live, every time coach will just make a video. So big up yourself. You understand? Jason Ferran asks if the coach still a cook. Yeah, I want a heck of a pot the coach I put on from yesterday. Still not done, fam. You don't know how I go on. Man, pressure cook on our work. 32 people up on the live, man. 17 likes. Make sure you go up on it. Drop a like on the video. Share it with your friends. You have friends that love talk about football. They like friends that love football. I just love the interaction on YouTube. Share it on your socials, all your Instagram and your Twitter and all of that. Let the people them know so we're out here. We're out to talk football. JPS, bless up yourself. Welcome back. Welcome back, JPS. We know you put out something just a while ago. Exactly. Move on from Hayden. You're all right. What do you mean move on from Hayden? What do you mean him all right? Explain yourself, man. Explain yourself. This is the first Ravel Morrison tweet chat tonight. We're not gonna talk about Ravel Morrison, man. Mr. Hugh, you missed the conversation last night. Karoom Hugh, you missed the conversation last night, man. We're not gonna talk about Ravel Morrison tonight. Ravel Morrison is a heated conversation. Bless up yourself, both official. What happened to the coach? I'm hearing that the coach got relegated. But not to worry. Being a great coach, he'll be right back. The coach just get relegated temporarily to the second division, but he'll be back soon. I'm here as a substitute for now. Think of me like the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer substitute in the Champions League final, coming on to win it all. You understand? So don't worry, the coach will be back. I'm just here as a last-minute substitute. Feeling yesterday, I will hear back again. Brown Man Security say I'm a Chelsea fan. Not too sure about that side, but bless up yourself, Brown Man Security. Coach a cook cow foot. Yeah, Kerry, Coach a cookie cow foot and it take a while. Man, pressure cook on our work, fam. Big match tonight, USA and Mexico. All of the people them out there looking to see how USA and Mexico performing. Me know. Bless up on yourself. Chaddy W. I can't wrong an English player for wanting to see if his country of birth will call him up. Can't fight that. That's my sentiments exactly to as well in a chat. It's like, I mean, the man only know England. He was born and raised in England. So being a footballer, his dream would be to represent England. I like say man grow up at Jamaica and then travel over. So you understand? So I mean, Raheem Sterling have more links at Jamaica than him, and Raheem Sterling decide to play for England. So same all. Dre, anyway, that's sports one of the biggest, one of the best and brightest panelists we have. Bless up yourself, my friend. Up. Manners. Mr. Chin, what you saying? Yeah, Mr. Chin. Not Ravel tonight. This is not a Ravel night. Ravel take over the whole of last night. You understand? So Ravel now come back on the argument tonight. Yeah, man, big up the Coach's Desk YouTube channel. One of the biggest and brightest Jamaican YouTube channel, growing day by day, strength by strength. Big up all of you guys participating consistently with the Coach's Desk, interacting, spreading the word that this is one of the upcoming and biggest YouTube channel talk about sports, not just football, but track and field, anything affecting sports in the island of Jamaica. Reaching out to the Jamaican diaspora, reaching out to everybody that have to do with Jamaica. That's building a platform for us to talk about what we love, which is sports. So big up the Coach's Desk. Karoom, I'll push it out there, but it's not gonna happen. It's not happening tonight, Karoom. It's not. Can I make you know that right now? Fresh God, you know what I mean? I have a friend in a man. Fully Red Devils, you saying a fresh God. Fully Red Devils. You understand? Some man just start watch football, so I don't know. Theo from St. Kitts. Man say I'm a Jamaican from St. Kitts. Go and bless yourself. Man as my friend. Don't St. Kitts I represent. Another one from the Jamaican diaspora. I could know how things are in St. Kitts right now. Also, guys, while you're putting out your teams or what teams you support, would also like to know if you will be up tomorrow morning to see the game. 4 a.m. in the morning. Where I am is 4 a.m. It might be 3 a.m. in Jamaica. So will you be up watching the game tomorrow? Make we know. I don't know. Depending on how I feel, I might just come down in my basement and live and do a watch along. Don't know. Don't know if I want to do that, but we'll see. We'll see. We will see, my friends. Well done, Jason. See, Jason say about 3 to 4 hours we did I talk about Ravel yesterday. Not happening. I don't want to hear that man more. As a matter of fact, this is the last time I will say that man name for the rest of the night. That man name that who must not be called. We're not talking about that man tonight. It's straight football. You understand? Straight Jamaica football. We're not talking about that man tonight. We're talking about Serbia. Talking about Hayden. We're talking about the coaches. Whitmore. What does Tapa Whitmore has to offer? You know? Is Tapa Whitmore the actual coach or is he a figurehead? I don't know. These are questions that needs to be answered, people. So let's get it. I understand. There's a lot of conspiracy out there thinking that Tapa Whitmore is not necessarily the coach. So who knows? Match early in the morning. Let's discuss after. Yeah. The match start 4 over here, which means it's gonna end by 6. By that time at 6 a.m., I have to be getting ready to go at the people in army to go train. So I don't know yet if I'll be able to do a reaction. I might do a live stream, a watch along. So those guys who are able to join me on the watch along, you might have to be streaming. I don't know if CVM or TVJ will be carrying the game, or maybe Flow, one of those sports channels in Jamaica. But if you're able to join me on YouTube, I might be able to do a watch along for that, talk about the game. Looking forward to see what Serbia has to offer and see if Jamaica can get past that defense. All right, next what else we got? Everton Stevenson same support Arsenal. My condolences, Everton. People, if you're hearing this right now, drop a sad face to Everton. He needs some condolences. He's an Arsenal supporter. It's rough. I know things are tough, Everton. My condolences. You know, it's rough being an Arsenal fan. So, you know, if me ever see me buy a beer, Everton, you deserve it. No time's off. Michael Woodburn, I said 2 a.m. a match. It's a 4 a.m. where I'm at. So I know right now, I'm 1 hour ahead of Jamaica. I'm in Maryland. So who knows? Just make sure so everybody tune in and ready to go. Top 10 to Mexico are going to win. Who you guys think are going to win this game? Mexico, USA. What you guys think? Charlie say, why is Flemo? I'm assuming that means is in the USA and not in Japan. Very good question. If anybody here, as I don't. So if anybody here work for the JFF or the selection team, make me know. That's a very good question, though. There's a lot more options that we have. The fact that we're short in options, some might not make sense. You understand? The selection process is kind of weird. We don't know what the selection process is, but hey, who knows? Make sure everybody drop a like on the live. You're in it, drop a like, share it with your friends, hit that share button, show it on your Twitter, show it on your Instagram, make all your friends and family know so we're live and we interact. We're building our own Jamaican platform here at football and all sorts of sports at the coach's desk. So they say it's on the bench is the coach. Other details say them going live at 2 a.m. Manners. All right, other details. Bless up yourself. If you're going live, then we might just jump on other details live. You know, we don't really want to take too much of the traffic right in that one area. So other details, if you're going live, push it out there. Yeah, we're all going to jump on other details live and watch the game and talk about it, is it? Alfred Hines, big up Chelsea FC for second Champions League. Big up Chelsea FC. It's not funny, fam. Nothing about that is funny. Not bigging up Chelsea FC. But congratulations on your win. I would say I much rather Chelsea win the Champions League than Man City. So I'm with you on that. Congratulations on your win. I'm not going to be a sore loser on that one. Yankee Graham say good to see the channel can run when the coach can't make it. Yeah, and the fact is we're all in it together, you understand? Been know the coach for a while, we went to school together in GC Faster. He did an interview with me early doors when he just started up the program about my travels or my sporting, exploits from Jamaica to where I am today and what I'm doing. So, I started my own YouTube channel off of inspiration and the inspiration I got from Coach Minzy. So if him hit me up saying, yo, need your help, hands out, ready to do it, no problems. You understand? We have to make sure so we keep it rolling. If the man have a triple threat and he's not available, we have to make it sure so the triple threat continue. You understand? Here to make the content for you guys, for us to learn as well and become better people. You understand? And as young men and women, we'd much rather be here than be out on the streets getting into trouble. So yeah, I just say it there. My T-Rex foot coach of pressure. All right, what you guys say now? Karoom going back to Iaasac and say if the choice between Jamaica and England, who will you play for? Yes, but then again, Karoom, is there a choice? You understand? There's a reason why Wilfred Zaha I play for Ivory Coast. There's a reason why Nigeria that you used to play for Arsenal and now I play for Everton. His name always a slip me. But there's a reason why I'm not playing for England right now and he's playing for Nigeria. You have to think about that. Mikel Antonio is the same situation. Remember, Mikel Antonio, they tell we know when he's the young guy now. But when you realize him goose cook when it comes to England now, he's here. And you can't really blame them. You understand? If man at the highest level of football, which is the Premier League, there is always that hope, that slight chance that he could make it, to play for England. People have done that at a later level in their career. Look at Jamie Vardy. Prior to Jamie Vardy winning the Premier League and getting the golden boot and everything, Jamie Vardy was playing in League One. You understand? It was a perennial. It was nobody when it comes to football. And then 2 years later, he's not only playing in the Prem, He's winning the Golden Boot and winning the Premier League. So it's anything can happen. And Iaasac Hayden has his mind open and ready to become the next defensive midfielder for England. Even though it's highly unlikely with the prospect that England have right now in terms of defensive midfield, he has to do what he needs to do, fam. Oheen Blake said no club team argument tonight. All right, Oheen, I'm hearing what you're saying. So when we come to you, Oheen, and say, all right, what's going to be the next topic of discussion? Are you going to be here and ready to put out the discussion topics, Oheen? Make sure, because we're coming to knock on your window. Thank you, all the details. Iwobi, Alex Iwobi. Thank you. Your name always slip me, but yeah. You guys showing it out there, man. Thank you. I'm sorry I missed it, but yeah. Best up on yourself. Yes, Alex Iwobi was the name I was looking for. There's a reason why these men, going back to the point, are not necessarily playing for England right now, and they're playing for their country of heritage. No, Alex Iwobi, Wilfred Zaha, them have a very good chance of actually making it to the World Cup. Remember, that's why these guys are playing, They're playing for the country, for pride, and to be out in the world stage. You're playing in the Euros, the entire world is watching you in the Euros. You're playing in the World Cup, the entire world is watching you in the World Cup. So you have eyes on you. It's going to build you as a player. It's going to build your renown, which gives you more, sponsorship and all that stuff. So yeah. Davian Kerr, bless up yourself. Manchester United, a big side, my side. Davian Kerr, you can pick and you can know the man them we know football, Davian Kerr, bless up yourself, yes, sir. Still showing shade on anybody when you support Manchester United. I mean, I'll stop doing it. Focus on Lewis Baker, for Iaasac Hayden. Teddy Lee Gray. All right, here's what we're going to do, Teddy Lee Gray. We're going to get you on the coach's desk board of officials. Right? And once we get you on the board of officials, you will be the one determining what the coach's desk is speaking about. But because I get the call from the executives on the coach's desk YouTube channel, and they said, this is what we're going to talk about today. This is what we have to talk about. However, I'm going to give you, Teddy Lee Gray, the opportunity to put in the comment section or later on come on the show when we drop the link and tell us here at the coach's desk, live and direct, why you think we should focus on Lewis Baker. Bring all of him attributes. If you want to bring stats, but make sure you come and let us know why you think you should be focused on Lewis Baker. Putting it out there, people. Teddy Lee Gray say if we focus on Lewis Baker, he's also trying to become a part of the coaches' desk executive body. So bring your argument, bring your resume, my friend. Bring your resume. Rapid growth for the channel. Big up yourself, Fresh God. Make them know we're growing and we continue to grow. Bless up yourself. Liverpool to the world. Which world? Which one I world? Imaginary world, man. Okay, Andy Campbell. Liverpool to the imaginary world. Clip your heels together twice, Andy Campbell. You might get back home. Because you're Alice in Wonderland. Liverpool. Kerry Mew, say, yeah, we had a great team. But thank you for telling me. I appreciate that. Yes, we are a great team. Manchester United are a great team. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Penalties out here, saved in Honduras versus Costa Rica. Let me know how those games are going, guys. I'm not really watching the game. I don't want to be watching the game and hosting the show at the same time. I don't want split loyalties right now. So let me know how those games are going. Keep it up. Let us know how those teams are playing as well, because don't forget, those teams are going to be our opponents when it comes to qualifiers and World Cup. So let us know how those games are going. Karoom saying, why Jamaica don't have football identity or forms of style of play? Well, Karoom, that comes down to our coaching, Karoom. So to be quite honest with you, if you're watching Jamaica and you're not finding any sort of pattern of play, if you just think that all we do is just defend, kick it in the air and pray to God so something happen, then that comes down to coaching. Do we have the quality coaches that we need for Jamaica to start playing some quality football where you can see an actual formation, a setup, and a system? That's where the coach comes in, you understand? So we have to ask ourselves that question: does Jamaica really have a philosophy? Do we have a coach that can present us with a philosophy? There's still so much question signs about Theodore Whitmore. As I said earlier, there's also question signs about maybe he's not the coach. I don't know. Maybe this man is just a figurehead because he wore the number 11 at the 1998 World Cup and scored those 2 iconic goals against Japan. I don't know. It's possible. Who knows? Who knows, fam? Who knows? But wonderful question. Wonderful question. Honduras beat Costa Rica. Top 10 coming in with the update. Same way. Bless up yourself, my friend. Jason Ferran said Iaasac Hayden focus is not on Jamaica at this time, so why argue over spilt milk? Well, it's not necessarily saying argue over spilt milk, right? We're not arguing. We're having a conversation as to why, Iaasac Hayden made that decision, or just to explain that Iaasac Hayden made a decision to say, hey, I'm putting my decision on hold. Remember, as fans of the Jamaica football, we want the best for what we want the best for our team. So we discuss when Antonio said he wanted to play for us. We discussed when Gray said he wanted to play for us. We discussed when Damari Gray said he might possibly play for us. You understand? We discussed when the striker from Brentford, Luke, was it Tony, Ivan Tony, we discussed that he's probably could play for us. He's celebrating the championship, being promoted to the Premier League and waving a Jamaica flag. I don't know if that's just for cultural identity, maybe probably wants to play for the country. So, you have to discuss these things as Jamaicans wanting the best for your country. It's not necessarily spilled milk, but, we'll be having a different conversation if he said, yes, I will, or absolutely not, I won't. So, we have to talk about that kind of stuff. All right, people, we have another Alice in Wonderland. Jarvis Paris, Liverpool for life. It's so sad that Liverpool now have no life. But carry on, Jarvis. Do we need to do? Sit down there in a foot. Let me know, all you Liverpool fans, you just let me know how your neck feeling right now, because this is you. This is you right now, just looking up at Manchester United. So, carry on, do your thing. Other details. Put it out the other details. Let them know, Alice in Wonderland. Big up on yourself. Sheldon Boucher said, remember, Liverpool is the second biggest team in England. That is correct, Sheldon. Also, who's the biggest team in England? I think you're looking for Manchester United, but yeah, I'll do you. There goes Sheldon trying to educate us on Manchester United being the biggest club in England. Thank you, sir. Everton Stevenson, Manchester United make good players like Pogba look bad. Arsenal for life. Ah, that is so nice. Just like how Arsenal make, I don't know, Pepe look like Pepe. I mean, Arsenal make Pepe look like Pepe. I make Obama Young look like Obama who? Obama waste man. Arsenal don't have one elite player, fam. Arsenal struggling for 10th. Arsenal to this day cannot compete with Aston Villa to buy a player that they've been trying to sign for 3 years now. Arsenal has been trying to sign Emi Buendia for 3 years now, and they cannot do it. And just today, Aston Villa and Norwich just had an agreement to sign Buendia. So let's not talk. As I said, my condolences, my Arsenal fans. Apologies. Oh, I thought we talked about this last night, but maybe Jerome wasn't on last night. Jerome, if you are in any way, shape in Manchester right now, I don't know if Manchester and Jamaica is blue. I haven't been there in a while. You tell me if Manchester and Jamaica is blue. I've never been there in a while, so just let me know. All right. Yeah, Arsenal fan really said that. Arsenal fan, Devin Johnson, really said that. Arsenal fans, I'm sorry for them. I really am. We don't know what OFC stand for, but thank you. All right, we're gonna drop the link. We're gonna drop the link momentarily, people. We're gonna drop the link momentarily so that the man them can jump on. And can start talk about different topics. Give me a second, then let me copy and paste and it will be pinned at the top of the it will be pinned at the top of the comment section so you guys can hop on and have your say. People, the link just dropped. So jump on whenever you're ready. We could talk about the topics of the night. Let us know. Okay. All right, cool. You just dropped the link. The link just dropped. Manners and respect, people. Come on, I'm going to talk about it. Mark Chambers says he's hoping that tonight's show will be more organized. All right, Mark Chambers. We're going to make sure we're well organized and put together for you, sir. Fresh God. We're going to lay the ground rules. Right? We're going to make sure we lay the ground rules, Fresh God, for every man who want to come on so we can get some organization upon the thing. So don't worry. We're going to make sure the thing organized and dropping. Not going to be a bunch of, flare up here, there, everywhere, everybody talking above each other. We will have a conversation. We want to make sure we get our points across, but the people out there are asking for some organization. So we're gonna lay the ground rules. As the coach always say, if you're planning on coming on, make sure your camera is on. When you jump on the link, when you come in, you get the opportunity to introduce yourself at first, and then we'll talk about the topics at hand. All right. I'm gonna find the link and pin it real quick. In the meantime, let's bring on the first guest for the night, the man, the myth, the legend, Cataract.
Cataract sound keep man. So Sizzler said that.
Welcome, sir.
Yeah, welcome to tonight, no man.
Tonight we are gonna talk about Serbia. We're gonna talk about the coaches on both sides. But before we get into that, let us know, Cataract, what you think about Iaasac Hayden and the decision that he made, saying that he's gonna wait, give him a couple of years before he makes a decision on whether to represent Jamaica or not.
All right. I've known for a while, but if you remember, I've often alluded to the fact that I've heard a voicemail, but I have to respect the man until he come public. You understand?
Right.
The truth of the matter is, which is why you'd see me pushing a certain player. And I'm gonna call him name tonight, because tonight about the 20 player them where they are England. Where they are Japan right now. So I'm now put
right.
But if a man come on, please mute your mic. Just remind them of that rule there.
Yeah. As soon as they come on, just mute the mic.
Mute your mic, please.
And if you're listening to the program on another device, mute that program as well, please.
Right, yeah. The player's heart is not with Jamaica. Right? And you cannot fault a man for wanting to represent the country of his birth.
Right.
I think it's a bad decision. My comment when Simon told me was, Metropolitan Police, if you see anything happen to Declan Rice or Calvin Phillips or Jordan Henderson, drive up to Newcastle and arrest Iaasac Hayden, because that's the only way he could get into the England squad. I don't understand what special form of bushweed them have up there in Newcastle. No disrespect, Bridget. It's just that the thing lock in the England middle. And James Ward-Prowse is who the English public are clamoring for. There's no clamor for Iaasac Hayden.
True.
None. And I've never heard any clamor for him, to be fair and honest, in the last year. So I don't know. But you cannot fault a man if a man has his dreams. That's his dream. It's not my dream. It's not
Yeah,
your
but Mike,
dream. It's nobody's dream. So a man must be free to pursue his own dream. Every man have a right to decide his own destiny. That's my thing there. But lots of people decide a wrong destiny. So not because you have a right to decide, mean you are going to make the right decision. Um, and also, I think we have to look at some of the shambles happening with the JFF at this time, and wonder whether those might play an impact on the player making a decision. What's happening in Japan is not pretty. When you Google JFF, that's what you hear. Players can't get on flight. Players are sleeping at airport for 3 days. You know, those happenings wouldn't entice anyone to come on. But that's my opening comment. Every man have a right to decide his own destiny. Just
Mike.
don't be a Bright Gale or whomever. You'll be in a rocking chair. And when I
Right.
come back around, I'll mention some other things regarding that.
Thank you, sir. MPEG TV, welcome to the channel, my friend. Introduce yourself and let us know what your opening thoughts are on Iaasac Hayden. What do you think what do you think about his decision? And do you think he'll be here in the 2 years' time to represent Jamaica?
All right. Good night, panelists. Good night, viewers. I am Howard Wilson, aka Impact TV. All right. Everyone has his or her, well, in the case of the Reggae Boyz, his own decision to make, and we can't blame a man for wanting to play for his country of birth, especially if he doesn't have a rich relationship with his relatives here. However, sometimes in life we have to call a spade a spade. Now, a man have to decide whether he wants to play in the World Cup or watch the World Cup from his living room. Because when you look at the depth chart, as Mr. Blake would say, the position for the player depth for each position is so deep. Then you have to look within yourself and see where on that depth chart you are and make your decision based on that. And based on where Hayden is on the depth chart, I don't see him getting into England side anytime soon. And it's not like he's 19 or 20. He's what, about 25 thereabout. So another 2 3 years he'll be edging closer to 30. And if he does not make it by 26, I don't see him making it in the English side anytime soon. So I would say if we are to wait until he's 28 to come, I would say we close the door on him. We are going to set a high standard here where we have young, exciting, talented players. So if persons continue to wait until they are 28, 30, then we'll say no to them. If we were the ones who said no to you initially and you decide to come later, then that's fine. But once we extend an invitation to you and you said no to us, I don't think we should take them later on, right, as the last hope. So that's my personal opinion on the matter.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, I mean, in what I would say to that is that I don't know if we have a philosophy, in terms of what you said, of how we choose players. I don't know if the JFF have a selection philosophy, in terms of, all right, we're going to go with young, exciting players. Everybody mentioned that dude Kiddo from, I think, Arsenal. We've never had the philosophy of reaching for young, budding talent who we want to play for Jamaica. We've always gone for the established player in that league that we're searching for. So who knows if that philosophy will change in time? Who knows if we'll have a change in management? But we'll see. Let's bring in Jermaine into the conversation real quick. Jermaine, introduce yourself. Let us know what you think about Isaac's decision.
Well, as you can see, my name is Jermaine. I'm based here in the US. As regards to Iaasac, for right now, give him some time to think about what's going on. England squad has a very, very deep depth. We know that. But this guy right now, I think he's a promise. If we can get him to commit to Jamaica, he will fit well in that position for right now. Right? But just give him time to see what's going on, and I don't know. Probably family leading him in one direction and all of that. So, and if also some of the guys in the team have contacts for him, can reach out and just give him a talk, show him the ropes about Jamaica and all of that. We can see what we can do from there. But as it regards to other players, or the development of other players, Jamaican players, in our country itself, Jamaica, I think in each parish, these players that play the Costa Cup, Manning Cup, all of those things, I think in each parish we should have an academy. As soon as these players leave and they want to take this thing professionally, all the star players go to that club or that facility in their area. So if you come from Westmoreland, Hanover side, a club set up there. So Rushie's player, Cornwall player, all them players they know, so them go to that club. See? Same thing with St. Elizabeth. And the list goes on and on for the parishes them. And you develop that talent from there. Transition them now into your Premier League squad out there in Jamaica, or that for your area. See, and develop these talents and we transfer them into the national program. And I think we can do what these other countries are doing over the world right now if we can create a system like that going forward.
Yeah, real talk is investment is where we would need. That would need management, it would mean investment, it would mean it would mean the government getting involved, making sure a program like that can not only start up but maintain. There's so much things that has to come in place for us to have a program like that, which is very manageable in a small island, but it would mean that we would have people with noble intent and free from corruption and money grabbing. So because it would definitely entail a whole lot of money and money movement and stuff like that. So these are wonderful ideas, but it would take innovative, forward-thinking people in positions of power to make stuff like this happen. You understand? So wonderful point by Jermaine. I really appreciate that. Dwayne, jump in real quick into the conversation. Let us know what you think about Iaasac, Hayden, and introduce yourself to the massive.
Greetings, panelists. All right, so Iaasac Hayden. I throw him age man 26. From the release.
Gentlemen,
yes, sir.
There is a feedback.
Yeah, if you're not.
I don't hear the feedback.
Yeah, somebody is listening something because I'm hearing it on my end.
I'm blank over here. I'm not playing anything right now.
Somebody have to mute their mic.
All right. Hold on.
I know what God. Good now, sir, Porter, we're good? All right, so we'll continue now. So as mentioned with Iaasac Hayden, I'm 26, you see me, when you say Mark for 2 years. Clearly, his interest is not in this World Cup. He's going to watch it like a fan, just like me and you and everybody else. So look for the 2024 World Cup upcoming. I'm going to be 28, going into the qualifiers, right? And then by the time World Cup in of itself, I'm going to be in the early 30s, probably 31. Let's say him continue to play at the highest level of football, right? And don't make England squad by him 26. Wouldn't Jamaica appreciate for have a ball at the highest level? Because basically, what it is that him not immediately commit from the understanding we get from the release there, is that he's more than willing to commit to Jamaica after that time frame. Why would we reject a baller of that quality if it is that we have no other? Would it just be because I'm age and only reason, or because he never accept what offer the first time we put it out there? But when you look on that now, we have like Ben Baftree, Mikel Antonio, and all of them, and they come back in the picture. Because Antonio showed the offer to him, never accepting at the early days, and now Jamaica have the same reach. So is that to not have the same joy with Iaasac Hayden for the 2024 World Cup? Just to ask that.
Yeah.
Rome.
We're gonna recircle that and touch that topic again after we get everybody on board. However, because we know MPEG TV would like to touch on that because that was somewhat of a rebuttal to what you said, and I'm kind of in agreement to that as well because I mean we can't be talking about age. I know we touched on age last night in our conversations about the players, but um Ryan, I can not Ryan, Shelly and Fraser are 34, I share around 10-6. So age no really have nothing. If you take care of yourself, I take care of your body and you can perform. You'll be there and are thereabouts. Mr. Other Details, jump in and introduce yourself and let us know what you think about Iaasac Hayden.
Good night, panelists, and good night, viewers on the YouTube. In terms of Iaasac Hayden, I feel like it's one of them situations where, as a young player, the wage demands that him come on as a prospective English player determine the likelihood of him playing for us. So it's almost like it's a law, an unwritten law of football currently, that if any man on the panel right now was in the position that Iaasac Hayden is, they would have an agent that is saying to them, you know, it's not that you can't play for Jamaica. It's a matter of the contract we are going to sign next year. If you're in the big up MPEG TV, if you're in the depth chart at number 5 or number 6, you know, and you are going to be looking at the potential of moving to number 3 to number 2. The wage that is going to be paid to you is going to actually allow you to earn more if you're on the depth chart for England. Now, in the case of a lot of players that we want to have play for us, we have to recognize that if we want the best for Jamaicans, I'm going to put that in air quotes because it's something I'm going to qualify. We have to remember that we want every footballer that play for Jamaica to end up with Raheem Sterling career. You understand? As sad as it is, you know, that Raheem Sterling, born and grown in Jamaica, plays for England, I personally can say that it's not unpatriotic to be a Jamaican and to want a player to play for a better side, a bigger paying side. And where me I come from is the Malcolm X, Marcus Garvey mindset. It's more important for we to take money from the rich and give to the poor. You understand? Like Jay-Z said, me can't help.
Look like we lost Other Details temporarily. Other Details, if you're talking, we can't really hear you. Just before we go over to I'm Sure Sports, I just want to say regarding what Other Details said a second ago. While I agree with him in philosophy in terms of wanting a player to be better and do better, I don't really think that playing for England as opposed to playing for your country of heritage is necessarily a money move. Now, if his agent is talking to him and telling him possibly you could play for England to hold off, it's not because he's going to get more money playing for England, because players don't play for the national country because of money. Jamaica is not playing these players extravagant amount of money, so that's going to entice them to come and play for Jamaica. Playing for a national country, especially for high level players like those, is for a couple of things: pride, and it's self-serving as well. It's self-serving because when you play for your national country, you play at the highest level with the most eyes on you. You're either playing in the Olympics or you're playing in the World Cup, or competitions like the Euros. Now, if you're playing that, you have a lot of eyes on you. You have a lot of eyes on you. You get to build your sporting stature, and that gives you personal endorsements. And then with your personal endorsement, prolong your career financially. So I don't really think the incentive to play for Jamaica or per England is due to money. I think it's due to pride, and it's due to self-serving interest, which is why Mikel Antonio didn't jump to the opportunity to play for Jamaica at first. the opportunity to play for the country that he was born in is better. So it has more to do with pride.
Can I
I'm
give a
sure
point?
sports.
Can I give a point of order? I am sure. Let's make a
Sure.
point of order. I think you were misunderstanding what other details. My nemesis. I don't know where I run from Cataract Sound tonight. I'm always a beat with the comments. No, I think what he's saying is that when you are an England international, the salary that you can command at your next transfer or your next negotiation will be higher than if you are a Jamaican international. So I don't think he's talking about the money that you get paid by the association, although you do get a match fee, and your match fee is a higher match fee in England. So I think that's one of the key things that he was saying. And I see a pin of content that said Bertram Spence said Hayden not even in consideration, and I think I don't know if somebody misheard me. That is what I'm saying. That Iaasac Hayden's name has never been in the discussion because I read the English papers every day. I've never heard anybody clamoring for Iaasac Hayden. They were even clamoring for Calvin Phillips when Calvin Phillips was in the championship and Iaasac Hayden was in the Premiership. So I'm not sure. So just to be clear, Bertram Spence, I'm not saying that Iaasac Hayden. I don't think Iaasac Hayden is in the depth chart. I think what Gareth Southgate said in his last interview, England goes to about 4 deep, so they ensure that they have 4 players for each position. And I don't think that he is in the 4 deep any at all. And Mpek, I think you said something important. The decision that the player makes, right? There are other people. The family has something to do with it. You have to talk to your wife. You just don't get up and make these decisions on your own. You have to speak to your agent and what your agent sees as your future. Where are you on your trajectory? Iaasac Hayden has had injuries and has had difficulty with injuries coming on. He's sitting on a long-term injury now. So you may not want to risk yourself getting injured in international football. So a lot goes into the decision. But I think that, and it might be fair that the man just want to watch the football and buy a big, brand new, big screen TV and he want to test it out. But he won't be in
All
there.
right. So I am sure sports. I'm gonna come to you from a different angle now. My question to you is because we've seen situations where it's a possibility that Gareth Westgate is calling some of these players because of the fact that he wants to make sure that they're devoted to England and don't have the option to do somewhere else. That's my theory with Ben Godfrey, because he had no plans of keeping Ben Godfrey, but he still called him up on the team. Do you think that there is someone within the FA reaching out to the representative from Iaasac Hayden saying, hey, there is still an outside chance that you might be called up for England, just because, Iaasac Hayden is a talent and England wants to make sure that all of their possible talents are available to them at any time? Do you think someone is spinning Iaasac Hayden's head, having him think that there is a possibility that he might? Because we know that there's not, the football in Newcastle is dead. I have never seen or heard any thing coming out of England, just like what Cataract saying that Iaasac Hayden has been considered for England at any time. So do you think someone is spinning his head, or is he genuinely just contemplating on himself, saying, hey, I might be called up for England soon? I am sure.
All right. Yeah, man. Good evening to all the panelists, and good evening, room. Who was sitting in for Coach Minty 2 days in a row, pay double, overtime, and all of that. And to all the persons in the comment section, greeting as well. Very important question. But first, let me say, I am fine with a player choosing who he wants to play for. If a man is born in Jamaica and his heritage is German and he wants to go and play for Germany over Jamaica, I wouldn't oppose him. All right, because that's his free will. But all I would say is that the other federation also have a choice. That if down the road you determine that you want to come back to play for them, they have the choice now to determine whether or not they want you. All right, so you are free to make your choice, but when you return, they are free to make theirs. I don't think at his age, he's 27 years old. This guy was at Arsenal. I've never and maybe I'm missing something, but I've never even heard anybody ask him about him in transfer markets. He's I think Bertram said something earlier that there it is. He's a good player, but there's nothing exceptional about him. He wasn't the top player at even Newcastle when he was fit. There's nothing about him that stands out. Maybe he could add some value to the Jamaica team, but he's okay. Let him stay. Because I don't think his head is being spun. I think there are other reasons. There could be other factors. Maybe he doesn't feel as Jamaican as the other players. And I think that is the case. I think Troy Deeney felt that way, and we have to appreciate, that. So my thing is nobody spinning his head. I mean, when he gets to 28, why would he believe that Jamaica going to want him at that time? By that time we finish the World Cup and we're rebuilding, and we may be looking at some younger players, Josh and Anglin and Luca Levy, I don't know, whomever, and things. But I have some breaking news still on. That's one of the things. I know it's about the Iaasac, but I can give you the starting 11 for the game now, or you want me to give you it later. But I have the starting 11. So I don't know if you want me to give you that.
Well, break it right us right now. No, you get everything all exciting, but when
the
you
legs
transition
first
from
before you break it.
yeah, we have to jump up the likes first. So we're gonna make sure Fresh God they're on it. Fresh God, listen out, man. One the likes and what give me a rundown on the likes and Fresh God because you have breaking news from the starting 11. I am sure sports only here exclusively on the coach's desk. The starting lineup for the Jamaica side tomorrow. I don't think he's that in depth in terms of getting the Serbia team. But let's get Devin Porter on real quick. The big man Devin Porter to give us his thoughts on Iaasac Hayden. Mr. Porter, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. I am not the one to beat Iaasac Hayden about his decision. Everybody has their. Yes, are you hearing me?
Yes, sir. We can hear you.
Yeah, I mean everybody has their own decision. So you have to give him the benefit of the doubt. And if he says he's waiting on England, I don't know. I'm getting a feedback in my mic. I don't know what's happening. I'm getting a feedback.
You can ask in the comment section because I'm not
It's all
hearing
good on my
feedback.
side, Mr. Porter. I'm not really getting a feedback over here either.
Yeah, all right. Let me log off and log on again. Let me
Roger
log
that,
off
sir.
and log on. Yeah.
Gotcha. All right, let's go to the most infamous Ask That there is.
You break.
Mr.
Can you hear
Cranky,
me?
let us. Yes, sir.
Can you hear me?
Welcome back
Can
to
you
the
hear me?
channel.
Yeah, thanks.
Yes,
Can
sir.
you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Well, I mean, Iaasac is a good player. Iaasac played for us, right? Iaasac actually was centre half, then transitioned between centre half and playing centre midfielder. And he came to the academy. And actually, he played just a couple of games, and then he got injured, and we shipped him out. Look, the dearth of midfielders we have, it sort of talks to our problem, right? We don't have quality midfielders, and therefore we're pursuing someone who doesn't necessarily want to play for us. And we shouldn't take it as an offense. I hear some of the comments, some pushback, people are getting upset. Here's the analogy you should think about. So someone's of Indian descent, right? Parents born in Jamaica, they're second generation, and India want to come play for them. Would you think that they want to play for Jamaica? Because that's what they know, that's their culture, that's what they've grown up in. Isn't that what they should be doing as a player? If you're born in a country, your parents is from that country. It may be that some of these players' parents are from Jamaica, but a lot of them are sort of second generation or third generation. It's not difficult to see why they want to play for their country. Now for Iaasac, I'm not even sure Iaasac is 2 or 3 or 4 deep as it comes to England center midfielder. I have never heard on Talk Sport or any forum in any way or situation where Iaasac is considered playing what has been considered playing for England. Never, ever. Not once. in any situation. Now, I think Cataracts talked about Calvin Phillips, and I think it's only when Leeds start doing well in the championship, that you heard Calvin Phillips' name pops up periodically. But before that, that never occurred. And he hasn't been a standout player at Newcastle. Like I said, maximum where you would say, yes, this is somebody who we consider get elevated to the national team. And I think the national team now, given the program they put in place since, 2014, is a very, very good team with quality players. So I think we have sort of exhausted the conversation on Iaasac. I understand that Devon was trying to pursue him, probably has a relationship, and that's commendable. But I do think that we have gotten to the point now where what Manning's man says is what I want to hear about. I'm done with Isaac's discussion.
Rome, I just want to say for the record, right? Antonio had, in his younger days, had made an approach to the JFF, and there was no response, right? So it's not true or fair to say that he turned down the JFF. He contacted the JFF first.
I'm not sure if it's just me. Hold on, Cracky. I'm not sure if it's just me, but it seems to be going in and out, and I'm not able to hear anything that you were.
Could you guys hear me, Kendra?
Yes, I can. We are not able to hear Rome. I can hear
Rome
loud
is
and
coming
clear.
in and out.
You're coming in and out, Rome. Your internet breaking up.
Yeah, I'm hearing everybody.
Is able to hear
perfectly
what
now.
he's saying?
Yeah, man, loud and clear.
Yeah, Rome, you're so freezing sometime, Rome. I'm not sure what's happening with maybe it's your internet. In fact, you're talking quickly now.
My internet was all messed up. It was all messed up. But can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you.
I'm going to apologize. First as Cranky. I didn't hear a word you said. It just kept going in and out. But I'm pretty sure the audience heard it, so I'm not gonna say any sort of rebuttal to what you said, sir. I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Let me make one more point actually, because we talked about Iwobi a little bit, who used to be at Arsenal. We have to understand. I think the Nigerian FA do make advances quite a bit to players of Nigerian descent. They do it and they have, if you see what's his name on AFTV, those guys, they're all a community and they all interact and they all engage and they're always pushing those players to try to play for Nigeria, right? So he made a decision very, very early to do so, and they embraced him and they welcome in. I don't think we have a similar setup where we are identifying, as Cataracts have done, as Devon has done, talent who we want in our program and making a real push like the US does with other overseas players to go out and pursue them. So it's more about us and what we have done and less about those players and their desire to play for us. If you make me feel welcome, if you make me feel wanted, I'm more apt to want to play for you and come and join you and engage with you versus I'm just another commodity and you know what, I'm not important. So
and Cranky, and that I think the approach by the Jamaica Football Federation is different, which it kind of puzzles me the way they operate, is that they think that the player should pick up the phone and call the JFF and said, I'm interested to play for Jamaica. That's not how it works. If you want a player, you have to go out and be very robust about it to get him to come and represent the country.
Yeah, and I think what we have to understand too, Devon, is that these kids, I'm gonna call it them kids, are very well off, right? So when people have resources,
absolutely,
feel they have the need to go pursue somebody across the pond someplace to go engage with them because they feel that others should pursue them. They built up a sense of entitlement. Just think about Jamaican footballers who are in their communities and how they are treated. It's even magnified more for those individuals. So they won't feel the need. They like to be pursued, not to be the pursuer. So we got to reverse that whole construct into how we're thinking about this and find a way to go engage them, bring them in, and hopefully they come and join us.
Yeah. And
if
I should backtrack a little bit what I was saying previously before I log out and log in back about Iaasac, is that I think I understand him. He knows he's a very good player. I don't know about his age is 26 years old. If England still factor him representing the country. But I mean, one thing comes to mind is that he was injured near to the end of the season. And what probably prompted this is that has anybody, I mean, the JFF knows about him. The JFF knows that he was contacted. We furnished the JFF with contact numbers and so forth. Since he was injured, have anybody from the JFF picked up a phone, send him a message, how is your rehab going? How are you? And so forth. I have done it. Certainly, I have done it. But I am not employed by the JFF. Okay? So, I mean, it might say something that there's somebody out there that's Jamaican is reaching out to him to find out how his rehab is going and so forth. But at the same time, I think he wants to hear from the top brass of the JFF. You know, and if the top brass is not connecting with him, I mean, I think that's one of why he makes that decision.
You know what, Coach? That's an awesome point. And going off, just piggybacking a little bit off of what Cranky said earlier, it kind of pains me to agree with him, but it's definitely true. With regards to these players being so well off from the academy days, these guys have had everything laid out for them to perform and do well. And so for us to have a system where we're trying to entice people to come and play for us, to show them that this is where they need to be, and for us not to have a system where everything is taken care of for these players, as simple as passport access, as simple as information access, stuff like that, then you can see where a lot of these things could be, you know, a deterrent for players to want to even participate in the process, because of the incompetence of the JFF, which is why I believe that comment up there says JFF is incompetent, because to me, from the outside looking in, it just seems as if there's so much things that they could be doing and they're not doing. But just to give you guys an update, 3 more likes, it looks like on my end, 3 more likes to get it up to 100 before we have I Am Sure Sports jump on and drop the, you know, the big news of the night, the exclusive breaking news right here and only here on the coach's desk. But I would love to go to, just before we head over into that, because I Am Sports is going to give us a perfect segue to move into the other point of the, which is the game tomorrow. But I really want to go to Cataract for him to give us, those guys, of the 160 people who are watching right now, give us an idea as to the situation that is currently in England right now when it comes to Newcastle. We know that when it comes to the Guardies over there, that their football, especially this year, has been crap. Whenever they go down, they have the funds and the resources to come right back up, but they've never been able to live up to the fan base that they have. So Iaasac Hayden not being, you know, that mainstay in Newcastle, still wanting to play for England, and we are looking at Iaasac Hayden because we know that his position is essential. His position is what we're lacking right now, which is why his name is so important. So tell me, what's the current situation now in England with regards to Iaasac Hayden and Newcastle?
So there are some footballing centers, right? Manchester is one, the North East, right, which is Liverpool, Everton, Tranmere, that whole area, Blackpool. And then you have the Northwest, particularly that area, a fierce rivalry between Newcastle and Sunderland, two massive clubs. And I use the word massive. They have a massive following. That era is the era for shipbuilding, right? The docks are there, and so you have a lot of workers who, in the heyday of the shipping industry, and the fishing, they would be building the ships, so they had a lot of income and could go and support. They have a whole lifestyle there. They drink something called bitters. And brown ale. We drink bitters in Yorkshire. They drink brown ale. They have it's like a whole different England up there. The Geordies and Sunderland. So what has happened is that Sunderland has found itself in the depths of League One, unable to come out. And Newcastle, after being a club that when Kevin Keegan was there, Mighty Mouse, was challenging at the top of the league. At one point, they finished second. They bottled it, and Alex Ferguson used his head and caught. He used his head on Kevin Keegan. And Alan Shearer is the most famous son of Geordie, and Paul Gascoigne, Gaza, who made a name at Tottenham Hotspur, sort of our own Ravel Morrison in some respects. Troubled child, but a lot of skill. So what has happened is Newcastle is really flirting with relegation every year. But they are quite comfortable with their manager, who is a former Manchester United player. Name slips me right about now. And his
Bruce.
mandate,
Steve Bruce.
Steve Bruce, his mandate is
Steve
really,
Bruce.
they hate him, actually, they do. But he's quite comfortable with the management because his mandate is to keep them in the Premier League. And they have no ambitions of anything other than finishing above the drop zone. And so you'll find them flirting at 18, I'm not 18, sorry, 17, 16, 15, flirting around those areas. And they haven't moved on to somewhere like Crystal Palace, who, you know, has gone up in the 13 and 12 region where they're comfortable. So they're always flirting. And then they get a run and then keep themselves safe. But they don't play the attractive football anymore. They've tried to bring in players like St. Maxima, and they depend a lot. There was a French coach there a couple of years ago who brought in a few French players there, and they have that appetite for the French players. St. Maxima is an excellent baller. They have
Back
John
when Johan
Joe
Kabay
Shelby.
was there and him and them.
Yeah, man. And so there are not a lot of English-based players who go there and then transition into the national team. Those who come, I think Joe Cole went up there. They had been internationals already. But you don't find many internationals making it from Newcastle because they don't play attractive football. They're not really a respected team in England. And so I think it's a difficult pathway for for Hayden, Iaasac Hayden. Certainly not at Newcastle. A lot of what they do, Ayoze Perez, I think, was there. He went from Newcastle to Leicester. They depend a lot on the French League One for players. And they use a lot of discarded players from other Premier League clubs. That's their model. So I don't really see players coming through there. Iaasac Hayden's benefited from playing alongside John Joe Shelby in the center of the park. And I think what might happen to him is that people feel that he may not perform as well without that sort of chemistry that he's developed there with Shelby. But I wouldn't think he's a good player. Let me say that. He's a good player. I don't want anybody to diminish the fact. He's hard and he's a good player. Not many weaknesses that you can identify. Does not have many identifiable weaknesses. Good all-round player, but not exceptional. And so, but if players watching, he puts in a shift, man, and he would be a good to Jamaica. But the last thing, and I open up to other people, I have 3 words for him: Elijah, Bonner, Dixon, Liverpool under 18. Big up yourself. 2 years time, I don't think the door will be locked on him. I just think that the line at the door, the crowd at the door, is going to be plentiful. And I
All right, people.
Yeah. So people have come up.
So can I just touch one thing that can I just touch one thing Cataract didn't touch? And the most important about Newcastle is this, which is Mike Ashley wants to sell the team. Mike Ashley is a smart owner, and he's not going to spend his money like Abramovich and those and what's his name from Man City does. He's not going to put 300-400 million into the team. He wants to sell it to Saudi Arabia, to a sovereign fund. The Premier League body did not approve the sale. And so they're in this no man's land in terms of where do you go from here? So he doesn't want to spend too much money in the team, trying to rebuild the team. when he may not get the sale he's looking for, because he realized he doesn't have the deep pockets like the billionaires do. He owns Sports Direct, which is a very profitable franchise for him, but he doesn't have the deep pockets to compete with the Man Cities and the Man U's of the world. So he wants to sell the team, but he can't sell the team because people want to buy it with the resources to compete with the Man U. They're not the Premier League is not allowing them to make the sale because they don't think they're not satisfied with them as owners. They don't think they pass the fitness test.
Roger that. Yeah, we heard about that takeover earlier in the season, and it seemed as if that takeover was going to go ahead, but then Premier League canceled for whatever reason. Yes, people. So we're here at the point where you guys have been waiting for. That exclusive is coming. So I'm going to give the big man the floor. Mr. I Am Sure Sports is going to go over the team, the starting lineup for Jamaica tomorrow. I Am Sports, take it away.
Yeah, man. All right. Yeah. So I don't know the formation, so I guess we can probably afterwards, the tactical geniuses like Mr. Porter and Bertram and Cataract and Rome and MP can can give us the formation based on the players. But Dennis Taylor is going to start in goal, because he's a goalkeeper in the squad. So then you have Devon Williams. He's going to be starting. Amari Bell, Andre Gray, Javon East, Blair Turgott, O'Neill Fisher, Adrian Mariappa, Damian Lowe is the captain, Liam Moore, and Wesley Harding. So that's the starting level. Like I said, that we can discuss like who is going to play where.
All right, make you actually run that one more time again, so that we because I know a lot of people in the comment section might be taking notes. Are just looking to jot down what you say.
Yeah.
So if you would.
All right. So yeah, man. So in goal you have Dennis Taylor, Speed, then Devon Williams, Amari Bell, Andre Gray, Javon East, Blair Turgott, O'Neill Fisher, Adrian Mariappa, Damian Lowe, Liam Moore, and Wesley Barnes.
That's it. Hoping the people heard that lineup. We're gonna go around the panel right now.
Wesley Harding.
Just for us to see.
Yeah, he's in it. Wesley Harding, Liam Moore.
Yeah, just correction because you said Barnes.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, Wesley Harding, Liam Moore, Damian Lowe, Adrian Mariappa, O'Neill Fisher, Blair Turgott, Javon East, Andre Gray, Amari Bell, Devon Williams, and Dennis Taylor. That's the 11. Yeah, Wesley Harding. Not Wesley Barnes. I don't know how it's going to set up because I think there's too much defenders out there. So I don't know. Maybe we can discuss that. So unless one of the defenders going to play, a couple of the defenders going to play in midfield.
All right, so let's start off with the defenders. Line out the defenders for me again there real quick. So you have Amari Bell.
Rome, I'm going to drop a link in here. If you can pull up the thing where we put the squads together to see if we can just look visually. I'll drop the link if you can bring it up so we can look at the players visually. Cause I'm not sure if that sounds like a squad or a dance team. I don't know.
Come on, Cataract. Come on.
No, something's so wrong.
He's not 6 defenders. I'm confused.
Come on, Cataract.
No, man, it sounds like a dance team. It don't sound coherent. So if you can drop the link, Rome.
Yeah, man, I'll pull it up in a second.
Just pull it up and so we can just put the players in there that I can see because visually, I'm a bit confused.
I don't think I'll be staying up tonight.
Can you guys see it?
Yeah, we can see it.
All right, good deal.
Yeah, man, can see it.
right, so left back.
Seems to
What
be
you guys
well.
think?
I seen his bell, right?
I hope it's Amari Bell.
It's
Amara
Amari
Bell.
Bell
Well,
at
let's
left
do
back.
this. Let's do this first. Let's do
Amari
this.
Bell. Amari Bell.
Let's see if we determine what formation they'll be playing then before we even start putting the names in here.
Five at the back. I just seen.
So yeah, that's it. 5-3-2 basically.
No, he's playing one holding midfielder. One holding
I
midfielder.
think Damian Lowe is going to be playing CDM. That much I know. Damian Lowe will be playing CDM. So I don't know how the rest of the team going to set up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I put Damian Lowe in a CDM. So basically not 5 in the back, then 4 in the back.
Well, yeah, but I know he's going to be playing there. I don't know how the rest of the formation, because they could go 5-3-2. I don't know, but I know he's playing CDM. So we can work from there.
You need to change that formation to bring in a formation that has CDM. That has 2 central midfielders.
Well, that probably wouldn't work. So let's do this.
No, but they can put 4 at the back with 1 CDM.
Yeah,
we can do this. We can do this then.
4-2.
4-3-3.
No, they can try 4-3-3, but they can try 4-2-3-1 or 4-1-2-2. Is that one there?
Sounds confused to me.
4-1-2-2.
Yo,
This?
no, go at the top. Go at the top and look at 4-2-1. Hold on a minute. The second row. Right?
This?
You have 4, the second row and the second formation.
Yeah.
4-1.
You know what?
And that's the for a second ago. 4-1.
Gentlemen.
4-1.
No man. 4-2-1.
Gentlemen, if I can chip in.
4-2-1.
Yes.
I don't know.
If I can chip in. He's gonna look like a 4-4-2, but he's gonna line up as a 4-4-1-1. So what's gonna happen is that if Damian Lowe is playing defensive midfield, he's gonna play Moore and Marappa at central defense.
Yeah,
Hayden on the right side, Amari Bell on the left side, Lowe and Speedy.
But let's just take them and let him a chance to put it in there. So
Okay, all right.
Tell him what formation he should choose. What formation should he choose?
He's gonna go 4-4-1-1.
That's just all right. Okay, the closest one to that will be this. Well, that's just a flat 4.
Yeah, so he's gonna have a point man and somebody play off the shoulder the point man.
4-4-1-1.
So basically,
it's a 4-4.
We can move this,
Hold on now. 4-4-1.
4-4-1-1. So the 1-1 is playing off the shoulder. East is playing off the shoulder of Gray.
So all right. So hold on. So that would be the second row, the second row, and the third option. 4-1-2-1-2. That's what it would translate into.
Isn't that 4-2-3-1? Isn't that
4-2-3-1? No, man.
We have to 4-4-1-1. Okay.
Gentlemen, listen.
See these strikers how they're off each other?
4-4-1-1. So the strikers are okay.
Hold on. So let me just set. So
I want to line it up on paper.
Hold on. So
I want to line it up on paper.
No, Devon.
4-4.
Devon, that's not available. So I'm trying to tell him what's the closest ones available so we can look at it visually.
Oh, it's not available. Okay.
No, it's not. So you have to choose the one that.
All right, listen. Since it's not available, it's gonna look like a 4-4-2. One is gonna play off the shoulder of each other. All right. Now let me tell you what's gonna happen now. Dennis Taylor in goal.
So hold on. Select Dennis Taylor in goal.
I want to know, because when I look at the comments, I'm wondering who should we have started instead of these players. I think, except for Ravel, this is probably the best group.
Hold on. I don't think we should do that. Let us bring up the team to see it.
Team first, okay.
Yeah. And the people in the comments, this is the coach's decision, and he has made his decision. So 100.
Okay.
So you found
Taylor in
Dennis
goal.
Taylor?
Yeah, it's already there.
All right.
Why we not see him?
Central defense now. Moore and Murray Upper. Moore on the left, Murray up on the right.
Hold on. You have to give him some time.
It's like it's taking a while to load, but it's already on my screen here.
Alright, it might be taking a while to
Yeah,
go
because I'm
through.
not seeing it on mine.
Can you guys see it yet?
I wonder if your
Still not on my
slow.
screen
I
yet.
think your internet's slow, you know. Let me share my screen with you. Your internet's slow, you know, bro. I
Yeah,
wonder.
Cataract. Why you don't do it,
Yeah, but
Cataract?
let me share.
And then let Rome comment. Yeah.
Let me share my thing. See if I get it though.
Yeah. Hold on, let me remove mine, okay?
Okay. You seeing it now? Alright, so I have
Yeah.
Amari Bell on the left, Dennis Taylor in goal.
Dennis Taylor in goal.
Who at right back?
Harding. Where's Harding?
West Harding. And who is the central defensive pairing?
Okay, Moore and Murray Upper. Moore on the left side, Murray up on the right side.
More. Adrian Mariaco.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, seeing it on the screen because I'm on the tab. Is everybody seeing that?
Yes, I'm seeing that.
Yeah.
Okay. Now in the
Yeah,
center
we're
of
seeing it.
midfield, you say you have
Is
Damian Lowe
Damian Lowe and Speedy.
and Devon Williams.
Yeah.
And on the right side of midfield,
On the right side, O'Neill Fisher.
sorry, let me remain. I don't see only Fisher. Let me see if I see him. Hold on. Let me go again. Right side of midfield. EIL. Only Fisher. And on the left side, it's Blair Turgot.
Bray Turgot.
And up front,
You have Javan
Andre
East.
Gray. No, Andre Gray first. He's the point striker. Gray and Javon East.
Mm-hmm.
There you have it, my people. So we have a central defender playing in the midfield on the right, and we have a central defender playing in the central in the. Uh, is he playing five at the back? Is O'Neill Fisher playing a sweeper?
No, O'Neill Fisher is playing as a right winger because he has played there for Seattle Sounders when he was with Seattle. So this is the reason why I know that that's how he's gonna line up. So Fisher will be in front of Harding.
Well, Devin, doesn't that read more like a 4-2-3-1 versus a 4-4-2? With the strikers, yeah, 4-2-3-1, right? So you have the two center midfielder. You have either maybe Gray lining up with O'Neill and Turgot, and then Gray is the front man.
No.
Or
If
vice
he's
versa,
playing,
or vice versa.
If he's playing two strikers, that's play almost the same.
Yeah, but
He
you
is
can play
gonna
one as a 9 and
go.
one's a 10, right?
He is gonna go like that, 4-4-1-1. That's That's the most ideal formation. But this is how they line up. It's gonna change.
But let me ask, who would we take out? Because I've seen some of the comments. Who would we start instead of any of these players? Because
If you want toughness in there, Low is tough, can win ball and he can tackle. I
no man, I'm
probably
asking who would we take out, and like who from the starting 11 should not have started and someone else come in.
O'Neal Fisher.
I
And who should play instead of O'Neal Fisher?
Any midfielder.
Who, Lambert or Kemal Malcolm? Because you'd have to play Lambert or Ravel Morris, and I figure that Ravel Morris maybe not fully fit and they don't want to start him. I don't know, but I can give you the bench. You know the bench. The bench is Dylan Barnes, Kemal Malcolm, Kevin Lambert, Kevin Isaacs, Ravel Morris, Luca Levy, Jadine White, and Curtis Tilt. So the only other player is Luca Levy or Kevin Lambert in the midfield, or maybe Ravel Morris.
My guess is going to play a back three. That's my guess.
No, I would disagree with you, MP, because he has named a left back and a right back, a specialist left back and a specialist right back.
And a specialist right back. So he's not going to play three at the back.
Unless he's playing three in the middle.
Yeah, but we don't have anybody else there to play anything else.
unless he's playing three in the middle, and let me ask you, Devon, to comment. Unless he's and let me put five at the back.
Cataract, why you sound like you're laughing? Because Ravel not starting.
No, I have nothing to say, my brother.
Listen, we're not going to start a conversation tonight.
I am sure. Don't.
I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
Is this more the lineup?
You guys don't know what the coaches that's been to last night with Ravel Morris, so we will not be encroaching in that area tonight. Okay.
I don't just say Rome and Cataract should be happy he's not starting.
Hold on.
That's all I say.
I would switch Low with Fisher.
Cataract.
You would switch Low with Fisher?
Yeah.
In the squad. No, but we have been told
all right,
that
wait, Cataract. We're gonna go around the room. Seeing that we have a list of the starting lineup. We will go around the room of the panelists now, asking for their opinion on the formation that they think the starting lineup should be in, or any substitution that they would make. All right. So Formula Sports, you just join in on the thing, so I'll kick it off with you. Please let us know what you think about the potential breaking news exclusive starting lineup, and what you think about it, the improvements that you should make, or if you think this is actually the formation that Tapa will be playing tomorrow.
So, question: what is the news exactly? That what a particular formation will be played in the game?
No, the news is this is the league starting lineup. These guys are the men that will be starting tomorrow.
Oh, so you want my opinion as
sports people?
Okay. So the big news is that Low will be in midfield.
That's what we're thinking. That's the starting lineup. I am sure Sports is saying that he's of the inclination that Low will be in the midfield because of his ball playing abilities and literally, and his rigor and strength, being able to win back the ball. So that's what I am sure Sports is thinking. What do you think?
Has anybody ever seen Low play as a CDM? Because I've never seen him play as a CDM. So I don't know if I can give a comment on that, to be honest with you. I kind of see the reasoning behind it, but I've never seen the player play CDM. So I don't know if I can comment on that, to be honest with you.
Okay, if I can comment. If I can comment on that.
Yeah, man.
Knowing Low with his playing out of the back, I know he's a very good passer, I know he's a tackler, I know he can win those high balls. And if Michael Hector can play there. I bet my life. I bet my life on it that he can play there and he will do a better job.
Mr. Porter,
Fair
I was
point.
just about to say we had Hector playing in there, so I don't see why Low wouldn't. All right, we're gonna move
Fair
over to
point.
Marlon real quick. Marlon. So you probably you were on earlier. So the idea is we have 11 man out there. We decided as a collective that this is the way he probably will set up. Do you have any objections to this setup? And if there's any changes you would like to see, anybody off the bench that's coming in, or if this is the 11 you would have picked? What do you think, Marlon?
Well, good evening, panelists. Good evening, everyone in the chat. This, first and foremost, I know Dennis Taylor personally. I will use him to start. Dennis Taylor has probably played less football out of all the players there, right? You have Dylan Barnes. Let's see what he can do. Because from the reviews I was getting out of the camp that he was doing very well in training. If you look at the formation, it's either a back three with possible Wes Harding can play a right centre back as well. So we have to keep that in mind. So it can be a back three. It can be 4-4-2 as well. But with the start 11, you have to put in the factors that it's either going to be a 3-4-2, 3-4-1-2. So basically, the formation I set up are they're going to use 5 at the back using the wing backs, or 4-4-2.
I don't. Oh, go on, finish.
Yeah, so basically, the only change I'd have Lambert inside, because guess what? The problem I have, this Serbian team has basically 3 players in their squad under 6 feet, right? In the defense, I think the guy that play left back, he's probably 5'11". So we have a centre back pairing of Mariappa and Moore, who are basically more than 6'6". Mariappa's at 5'11". So that's one thing. And Serbia, I heard somebody today was talking about we can use set plays on Serbia. Serbia score most of their goal from set plays, basically. So that's one thing. I wouldn't have taken Low out of the defense. So the change I basically make, I'll take out Fisher, bring Lambert in, and Low play centre back if they're using a back three. Because basically, when it comes to the air press, we're gonna want it against the Serbian, because as we said, most of the players are over 6 feet and they're very strong in the air.
All right,
awesome.
let me ask a question. If you bring Lambert in, put Low in the back, and you remove Fisher, who is gonna play the position that Fisher is playing?
That's what I said.
That question is for you.
Yeah,
all right.
whatever.
And I'm gonna tell you why Fisher should be playing there. Fisher is probably the only player in this team who can provide crosses inside. I've seen him done it umpteens at time. I've seen him done it at wing back. I've seen him done it at wing position for Seattle Sounders. And he will dump balls in there. Now we're talking about the height of the Serbians. If I was the coach, no defender like to have the ball, because Serbia is going to play a high back line. No defender likes to defend with the ball playing behind them. And with an Andre Gray and a Jevan East, who is strong and quick, if you play that ball behind those central defenders, there's no way they will be comfortable defending, facing their goalkeeper, because the ball is going to be between them and the goalkeeper. And they have to turn to chase to defend, while we have to push on onto them and run past them. Now, instead of playing a lot of crosses, why not keep the ball and play it on the ground? Those tall players don't do well with the ball on the ground.
I disagree with that, Mr. Porter. Mr. Porter.
Why? Give me the reason why.
For starters, Gray is quick. I would disagree with that. I think the player has lost a step, right? When I've seen him in recent times, the speed isn't there. I don't know if it was the injury or what. But that's the first thing. Second of
He's
all,
a Premier League player, isn't he?
no, I mean, I'm not disputing the player's quality now. I'm just disputing the argument about the player's pace. The pace I'm talking about. I don't think he has the pace anymore from what I have seen. Right? Secondly, Serbia has conceded 3 goals in the last 3 games from crosses into the box, you know. So you have to bear that in mind as well, you know. They have conceded 3 goals in the last 3 games from crosses.
That means they have
into the box.
weaknesses. That means they have weaknesses.
Yeah, then that me say, man, because when you were saying you didn't agree with you didn't about something about not putting crosses into the box.
No, you did not listen to me. You did not listen to me. At first I said O'Neil Fisher is the only person on the team who can provide crosses into the box. Secondly, I says if you can play crosses behind the defenders, they're uncomfortable defending that way. And thirdly, I said, if we don't want to play crosses in the box, why not put the ball on the carpet? That's what I said.
Oh, you know what I heard, my mistake. What you had actually said was the Serbians, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, but what I heard you said was that the Serbians defend crosses well. So that's what I was disputing. I misspoke.
If someone says because they're tall, they will defend crosses well. So I said, yeah. So I said,
we don't have to argue that.
Yeah.
It's a misinterpretation.
Okay.
So hold on. I've been
Leave
quiet
it.
for a while. I want to challenge Devon. Devon, because you know someone always look and try to think this. Devon, this is O'Neil Fisher's last 3 seasons in terms of crossing, right? At Seattle Sounders, he attempted 16 crosses all season at a crossing accuracy of 6%. At DC United,
as a wing back.
No, but hold on. I give you. You can put it in the context. You can.
Okay,
you can
as a wing
this.
back.
Hold on.
As a wing back.
Hold on. At Seattle Sounders, which is what you spoke to in the 2017 MLS season, he attempted 16 crosses with an accuracy of 6%. At DC United, he attempted 13 crosses at an accuracy of 23%. And in 2021 at LA Galaxy, he has attempted 3 crosses at 0% accuracy. And when he was in so I don't 0, 6, and 23%, I don't see the accurate crosser that you're speaking about.
Before
okay, and I'm gonna say something to you.
I don't see the accurate crosser. To say that he dumped a lot of crosses in the box. Hold on.
Before you answer support, let's caveat this by saying, hold on, Cataract. If you look at the team right now, right, that we pick, O'Neil Fisher is playing the left side of a 3-man defense. We won't be depending on O'Neil Fisher to be putting in crosses in this game. If anything, the crosses will be coming from Omar Bell and Wes Harding. So before Mr. Porter talk to you or come back to you about the crossing ability of O'Neil Fisher, unless we're asking O'Neil Fisher to be picking up the ball in the defensive third and kicking the ball over the top over the defenders, his crossing ability wouldn't matter in this game because he's not playing left wing back. No, we're not asking him to leave the defense line and go up on the flank and crossing the ball.
Rome, that was if we were talking about the other formation when we had it in a 4-4-2. And we were saying 4-4-2, and we were saying that O'Neil Fisher could possibly play the right-hand side of midfield. So this formation, it wouldn't come up. But if we are playing a 4-4-2 and we are asking him to play the right side of midfield, which is effectively the role of Leon Bailey, right? I have a big concern. I don't see a player that dumps crosses in the box. His record does not speak to that. His record speaks to a defender.
All right, so let's we'll move away a little bit from the hypotheticals because I really want to hear what Cranky thinks about this team. Cranky says he's not getting up for it. So, Cranky, what do you think about
I think Manning's
this
man is giving us fake news, so I'm away for the right team.
And no,
think
it's
that was
not
fake
fake
news.
news. That's the team.
I think it's fake, but it seems like it's fake news to me.
No, that's the same team I have. So that's the team.
We're talking about cross in the box. Are we gonna leave our 18? We have a bunch of defenders on the field. What do you mean crosses in the box? We get to be able to cross the ball in the box. Which box?
But
Well,
Bertrand
probably plan to defend all night.
But yeah, but that's the wing play in this particular game, you know, is the only way I see us doing anything going forward, you know. So if we don't have players in this team that can put in good crosses in this game, then boy, we in some serious trouble, because that is the main weakness of the Serbian team under Stojkovic.
Formula Sports. You made a point just earlier that Serbia conceded 3 goals in the past 2 games from crosses. What we need to remember in this analysis in this game is that only 3 players for the original starting lineups would be on the Serbian team. 2 of them are defenders, right?
Yeah.
So this Serbian team is going to be a completely new team compared to the team that drew 2-2 versus Portugal or 1-2-1 versus Azerbaijan. So in making this analysis, we can't necessarily say with this being a brand new team that they'll be either weak in defense, weak in crosses, because it's going to be a brand new team. A team that might be so pressed that they won't even allow crosses to come in. You never know what this team will look at. So looking at saying that we need to set up our team in terms of putting crosses, we need to figure out why this 11 right here, or how this 11 will play. And it seems to me that it's just Jose Mourinho.
All right,
let me say, can I say? Okay, go ahead.
In watching how the Serbians play, there's a lot of space out wide, right? And so they don't really put a lot of pressure on crosses, right? So that's a major factor that we have to look at as well. And you raise a fair point, right? You raise a fair point, but still 2 of the 3 center backs will be players that usually start for them, right? So even though I see your point, it's still 2 out of the 3 in the box who will be mostly the ones who will be responsible for defending crosses in the box. 2/3 of them are there.
Let me just add to it, because I think this could be strategy. I don't know, but I actually have the match card still. I'm cranky, so it's a real starting 11. But I think if Ravel Morris were in good condition, he would have started the game. So maybe the coach is going to sit back for the first half and say, bring on a Ravel in the second half, and we become more attacking and creative. All right. Now, I hear a couple of things, because some persons are saying that, boy, we should give Dylan Barnes an opportunity to keep instead of Dennis Taylor, because if we brought him, then we need to look at him. All right. But then we are saying that, boy, Blair Tuggart, and then person don't want Blair Tuggart to start. So we want to look at the goalkeeper, but we don't want to look at Blair Tuggart. So think about the coach. Should he play players to look at them, or should he play what is his best team? So Dennis Taylor, for example, the last 2 trips, I think Dennis Taylor was one of the players who got COVID when they went to Saudi Arabia, and then he had some travel issues when they went to play the game in Austria, because he would have kept over Jaden White. So I know that he is a better keeper than Jaden White. In fact, I think, personally, I think he's second to Blake, even above Amal Knight. Because if you remember, when he got to Humble Lions, Jaden White moved to Cavaliers because he wasn't going to get any more game. He was also the captain of Reno. He kept for Jamaica at under 20. But sometimes some players, I don't think some players are seen enough because of the team that they play for. So he has always played at Arena team, but he has always been second to Andre Blake, except when Amal had the good season at UE. So I think he's a quality goalkeeper. I really believe in terms of Jamaican goalkeepers, he's the number one. So I can see the coach using him, but given the players that I see on the bench, I would trust Lowe working hard in the midfield than Lambert with his slower pace, though he may give me more pass. So I don't know. I mean, it's like I'm thinking, who do we really change and put on who? That is the thing. I think outside of Ravel and probably Lambert, we could say, okay, let's take out Low or drop Low back, drop other defenders. There's not really. That's what I want to hear from Cranky, because there's not really. Who else? There's nobody else.
There is there's nobody else I see who can. But with Low playing in the CDM, we might be onto something. We don't know. Let's see how he perform there, and we might be onto something because if he perform well against the Serbian there, going forward into the Gold Cup,
he might be the answer.
He might be the answer to the middle of the park in terms of the hard tackling, winning ball, and getting it to Ravel or anybody who can create. And then you look at the back line with the Ethan Pinnock and a Liam Moore. You understand? With Low playing in front of them, that's solid.
All right. So
we might be onto something here.
MPEC hasn't said anything in a while. So, but before we go there, I would like to say, keep this in mind, MPEC. Going off what Mr. Porter said this a while ago. I don't really think I like the idea of experimenting with a defender in a Gold Cup when there's other options. And we don't want going to the other options because Cataracta will get excited.
No. This is the experimental time.
That's what I'm saying. We don't want another Hector again. Before you know it, the entire
but this is you have 2 games. We have 2 games to experiment and see how it works. And if it work, what is going to happen forward is that in your training session, that's how you train the players and groom them to get into the Gold Cup, because they're gonna be at least 5-6 squad matches to continue building on what he's doing, what Whitmore is doing.
I'm gonna put up back this comment and make it sit so everyone can see what coach put up earlier. MPEC TV, what do you think about Low playing in the midfield? And
Coach, can I ask?
Sorry,
can I just ask one question quickly? I just saw something saying that this stream going to run right to the match time, so nobody don't go to bed.
Make we address that before MPEC time. A man, them have roles and responsibilities, okay? But this desk will not be responsible for anyone losing in their marriages, etc. So the stream will not go that long. I'm sorry. Apologies out there to the fans who want to sit here and watch it, but the coach is
we're going around here
for any divorce.
Remember, say the bench is deep in the room. The bench is deep in the. This is not the Jamaica squad. So we're there. But I'm a married ring.
Yeah.
So if everybody wants to stay up, but now I go sleep.
Room, I can do a plug. Room. I can do a quick
All right,
plug.
my time to go now.
Well, I'll make MPEC. After MPEC drop him, make him statement.
All right, I agree with Manning's man about Dennis Taylor. I think he's the best goalkeeper there. What I don't agree with is second to Blake, because if Dwayne Miller was fit, I think Dwayne Miller is our second best keeper. But of the 3, I think Dennis Taylor is the most talented one there. As it relates to the defense now, the reason why I suggested a back 3, because there's no way a coach would pick four center backs and don't play a back three. So that's why I think a back three is what he's gonna work with. So I don't know if Lowe is the one who is gonna play the CDM or Fisher, because I think he have used Fisher there before. He has experimented in a number of positions with Fisher. Center back. I think he even played right back and CDM before.
Yeah, but who are the 4 centre backs in this starting team?
No, that's what I'm saying. Mariapa has played centre back for the Reggae Boys. Liam Moore is a genuine centre back. Lowe is a genuine centre back, and he has.
So it's 3.
No, but he has experimented with Fisher before in the centre back.
Fisher has played
So,
centre back.
When?
So what you're saying is Fisher might be playing in central defensive midfield and Omari Lowe.
Which game did Fisher play centre back in? Remind me.
I don't remember the game right now off the top of my head.
It never played centre back for Jamaica. It wasn't Fisher. It was what's his name?
Sean Francis.
Sean Francis, yes.
Yeah,
He
man.
played a couple
I know
of games
Sean
for
Francis.
Jamaica.
Sean Francis. Fisher
At
never
centre
played
back.
centre back for us.
Well, I stand corrected. So why would we put him in the centre back now?
No, he's not in the centre back.
I
Yeah,
see
man, on the screen, he's a centre back.
Yeah,
He's a
because
centre back.
because Cataract was working some magic to see if he can get
so then
Cataract.
So then we have to fix it. Then we have to put him in the CDM. Then if he has never played centre.
No, he's on the right wing. He's on the right wing.
Right wing them have him.
Cataract,
I'm looking
back
up.
to
No man, I'm looking back the thing.
Confused based on what you have there.
Yeah. Let me apologize to you, Impact TV. We wanted you to come in and bring your expertise and
sorry,
reality,
Impact.
not necessarily cataract fantasies. So we're gonna fix that.
Cataract,
we're gonna fix that and then you can come back. In the meantime,
Sorry, what do you want us to fix it to? What do you want to change?
The original 4-4-2. Yeah.
Okay, let me do that. Okay, that's the original 4-4-2.
While you're fixing it, just let me close out. So if we look at Ananda Lowe, which is the father of Damian Lowe, we can see that he was versatile. So if family, if blood mean anything, I think trying him in the CDM wouldn't be a bad idea to see if he, is any, a chip off the old block. Because Ananda Lowe has played defense for us as well as striker. So let's see how it goes.
Well, just to pick up about the coach say, Lauren really want to play there, just going to do it for the team. And if he's anything like his father, he probably really don't want to play. He probably really don't want to play there anyway. Before we move on to the next point in task, Formula Sports want to have a quick plug for the players that money watch the game.
But Rome, after Formula dropping plug, you're not ask me my opinion, I think.
We're going to come to you.
No, but I just want to say it, and just correct myself. He's the centre back. The times that he has, a couple of times he's been centre back is not for the national team. My apologies. It was in the MLS. Alright, so I just checked back his thing. It's only a couple of times. So I corrected that it's not for the national team. Only official.
Okay, thanks for the correction.
That the people can know.
Yeah, man, I was just saying.
Go ahead.
Yeah, man, I was just saying that I did a video on the Serbians because I've seen them play. So when the stream finish, the guys can check it out if they are so inclined.
Okay.
I'm gonna put it out right now.
So Cataract, we are waiting with bated breath, my friend. So we need to find out from you now what you think about this team, who you think should be in, out, that kind of stuff.
So just to answer, I see a comment coming from Owen, and I don't watch MLS. I said I just checked the statistics. I checked the statistics and corrected myself. Because when I was looking at the team, I was trying to figure out what roles people were playing. And I saw that he had played a couple of games at centre back in the MLS. So it's not much that I've watched. It's just the research that I was doing when the team came out. I was trying to figure out who was the official right back. Right? So Bless up yourself. Look here. The coach Whitmore is having the same problem that we are having, right? Which is that you can't. He's trying to make sense out of nonsense. Not that the players are nonsense, but that the squad that was put together don't make sense. And so therefore you're trying to have players in all kind of different positions. So Lowe has to play CDM. I mean, I would have said, look, and I'm not in training, so I'm not going to second guess the coach at this point because this is match day. You see, before I have all the talk I want to talk, but if you come match day, I settle down to whatever the coach, because the coach has seen the players in training over the 2 days or the 3 days, and I have to trust whoever my coach's judgment is. But just looking at this side doesn't inspire confidence. This side, when they come out, will inspire a sponsor to go in and pocket and write a $20 million check or $10 million check to the team. This is at best cobbled together. I thought we would have wanted to get some continuity with Lowe and Moore working in the center of the central defensive midfield, right? And build some chemistry together as a starting centre-back pairing. I'm not going to mention his name, but you turned down a specialist central defensive midfielder only to be scrambling with two persons who are not central defensive midfielders, right? So I look forward to see how that works out for us. You have two right backs, essentially, O'Neill Fisher and Wes Harding, both defensive right backs, and then you're entrusting a player who had the last time he was crossing the ball had a 6% and who has not crossed a single ball in the MLS in this season to be the person providing the crosses to your target man. I don't see how that's going to work. I can't see how that's going to work. I'm not going to question the exclusion of Dylan Barnes. Again, the goalkeeping coach, Aaron Lawrence. No, I don't think Aaron Lawrence is that, The goalkeeping coach and the head coach would have been looking over the three players who are there. And if that's their decision, I work with it. I don't have anything to question it on. Not much different he could do up front. But I think the right hand side is going to be very defensive, but very weak attacking wise. And so all the attacks on the flank are going to have to come down the left, where Blair Turner will have to show us his worth. So,
all right. So you brought up a very great point, and this segues us into the next part of it. And I want to call this the Topper Whitmore segment, in which case I'm going to caveat the segment by saying I don't trust Topper farther than I can throw him in terms of tactically. There's a lot of whispers going about that he might not actually be the coach, but we're not going to go there tonight. What I want to talk to you guys about, we're going to start with Cranky as to what is your level of trust in Topper Whitmore tactically? Does this team, does his selection of the entire squad fills you with confidence moving forward with him in terms of being the coach that can give Jamaica glory internationally?
I don't think we have enough information to inform our view as to who makes what decision in terms of the national program. Does Whitmore select the players, or does he get a pool of players to select from? It appears we had a lot of people who decided not to make the trip to Japan. And as such, you can only be as good as the tools you have to work with. And given the squad that he has, he doesn't have the tools to allow him to set the team up with people who are playing in position that are normally playing to allow him to be successful. So we can't blame Tapa for his situation when he is not being supported as he needs to be supported to enable him to be successful. It's very disappointing to look at a team where we're trying to pigeonhole people into a certain position. Well, that's not what they've done. Yes, they may eventually become successful there, but it doesn't give me any confidence to say, you know what, they'll do well, because I ask myself the question, which is, how much better is this team than the team that played the US? The starting team. How much better is that team? I don't think it's much better, frankly. So, and that outcome wasn't that pleasing or that good. And we're saying, well, it's Serbia in second 11. There are some countries which have a pool of players which are quality players, right? If you're a major football power, you normally have 30, 40, 50 players you can select from. Yes, as you go down the line, the talent get less, but they're still good enough to compete. I'm not sure how well this squad here can compete that we have with a team that has a number of players who are probably just on the outside of getting into the Serbian starting 11. So it will be challenging. I'm not going to blame Tapa. I think people are questioning Tapa's capability, his technical awareness, his strategy. Most times, Tapa doesn't have the best players to work with. That's why I'm always pushing for us to really source quality players so we can then make informed judgment of Tapa and his ability. But right now, I'm not sure you can really judge Tapa. Look, I think sometimes people think about one's communication skills as a means of determining one's intellect and then one ability to strategize, make informed decisions, in terms of football, thinking about outside the box, being able to counteract what the other coaches do. But sometimes people learn on the job. And I think Tapa has been learning on the job for a while now. And because I'll say this frankly, his communication skills are not overly impressive, frankly. I think he does what he needs to do to communication. And he appears does have the right temperament sometimes. I'm not knocking him, but he comes across as very hard. He's not the smiling coach, the charismatic coach that some people like to see. He's not a Klopp, for example. And people like those coaches, and they sort of give them a sense of comfort. And if the outcome and the results marry with the personality, then you have that confidence in him. I think he has to find out. Look, I think it's more about the JFF and their ability or inability to communicate with the footballing public and try to tell them what's going on so they can get some perspective and not draw probably inaccurate conclusions about how things are going, how the program is running, what we do or don't do. Silence in this case is not golden. So I'm not going to sort of challenge Tapa or say Tapa doesn't know what he's doing. When we give him the right tools, then we can make that decision or provide a perspective.
Thank you, sir. Marlon, what do you think about Tapa's performance so far, his overall attributes as a coach?
Well, as I said, I've said it several times that going forward, because basically it's first Tapa having this amount of talented players to coach, right? Because when he took back the side 2016, most of the English players are basically they out of the World Cup qualifiers that he just went through the last 2 games. So you look at the Gold Cup team 2017 was mainly local based players and MLS and USL players. Then 2019, the only thing so we have to just give him his record is there. He did well in the National League, although we're in League 2. He did well, came out, get qualified for League 1. He took us to a final and a semi-final. A semi-final, but he was totally out-coached by US coach in 2019. For the first half an hour in Nashville, Nissan Stadium, Jamaica, we're all over the place. So I think he has done basically what we expect him to do, but he need to kick on now. He have the players there now. So I'm looking forward to see what he will do in the Gold Cup, and that will bring us in the World Cup qualification and moving onward. So it's his time now. As I said, some of the players, it's their time to shine. It's his time to shine as well. Because if you have all the top players now that you want, you have a Bailey, Antonio coming in, Bobby Reed, all these players. You have probably on the best backline we have had for the longest while. So let's see.
Can I say one thing? Can I say one thing actually, which is we don't realize about academy sometimes is that they work on much as your technical skills as they do on your soft skills. So how do you engage? How do you communicate? How do you deal with the media? I'm not sure we do the best job with our local players and coaches in terms of how we educate, inform them, teach them to how they engage with general public and or the media, and what that appearance sometimes is half the battle. Versus, coming across in a certain way where it doesn't resonate well with those who are viewing it. So hopefully we improve on that.
Yeah. I'm sure sports. Do you have any reservations about Theodore Whitmore's ability What do you think about him and you know the prospect of the teams that he's picking?
Yeah, let me say this, right? It would be unfair for me to judge him based on the last few friendlies because the whole federation, the football, has been in some turmoil. I want to be like Cataract because when Cataract comes on the show and he's going to speak about a player, he provides all the stats. All right? Whether the player is 34 or 18, this is what the stat says. And it says the stats don't lie. Agree, Cataract?
Numbers don't lie, but they
Numbers
can tell
don't
a
lie.
different story. But they don't tell the whole story, but they don't lie.
All right. So when I look at the numbers, when he has had his best team, he has produced the results. And therefore, we have to give a man credit where credit is due. I think some players who have not been selected, it's because of him, and some has to do with the GFF. And so both sides can be blamed. But I will say, based on the players that are available, I don't think there's much that I can do in terms of assessment. What I'll use to judge Tupper is the Gold Cup, because I know the Jamaica team before the first game, and this is, I did an interview with the president on Saturday on my channel, so you can check that out, I Am Sure Sports. He said that they have a 10-day camp where all the players, the 23-man squad, will be there before. And because of the whole COVID pandemic, they have to be at the Gold Cup 2 weeks before. I think 12 days before the actual first game. All right. So what that means is that almost like 22, if you think about all the players, 15 to 16 days, he will have the core of his squad for the Gold Cup. So I think after the first 2 games, it is fair for us to judge him, because you'd have had the players together for a longer time. I am believing that they're going to get the best player. Now, the problem we are going to have is if he fails, would it be enough time for us to bring in a coach at that time? Like, when is, and this is what I'm battling with, when is an ideal time to bring in? Because none of the assistants that are there, I believe, would do better than Tupper. So it would be someone completely new. And I don't know of anyone in Jamaica that I would give the job to. And can we afford to pay someone who is not Jamaican? And so these are the questions. You know, it's one thing to want a man to be replaced, but who are you going to replace him with realistically at this time? And these are my battles and the questions that I'd like to get answers for before I can make a decision. But I can't, it would be unfair for me to just judge him on this game. What I can do is look at the stats, like Cataract says, and the statistic shows that he has coached the team to a better FIFA ranking. He has more wins. The only other coach in Jamaica's national team history with the amount of games are over 20 games that have a better record than him is René Simoes. So what do I do? You know, if that is the stats, then I have to go by it. Though I don't agree with all that he has done. That's just my, but I don't know how do we transition to a new coach during this time of the campaign? And who would that coach be? Who is out there that Jamaica could realistically get to come and take this team that we know have the track record? Because it's one thing to play in a Caribbean tournament. It's a different to play in CONCACAF and go to the World Cup, you know. It's a different thing to play against Mexico. The USA did not go to the World Cup, the last World Cup. I think we forget that. Trinidad got knocked out yesterday. And you know, it's one player who played in what they call the Bush League in Jamaica. One player, Leslie St. Fleur. That player, I mean, every time the man go down the flank, like him have the whole Trinidad and Tobago defense in misery. What's the point I'm making? People thought like Trinidad is a better team than us. They have not even gone to the stage at Jamaica is that right now? And so when I look at those things, I don't know. Maybe somebody else can help me, because I don't know if we replace him, who we're going to replace him with at this time.
I can help you. I can help you guys. News just in. Breaking news again, back on the coach's desk. I'm hearing that Cataract will take the job for 50% off. So that's what we'll talk about.
I'm acting on the behalf of Jose Mourinho.
All right.
Jose Mourinho.
All right, I would like to come back.
We are going to go to Formula Sports, and then we touch MPEC, and then we go the final two thoughts, and that will be Coach Devon and Cataract. So Formula Sports, what are you thinking about Tapa Whitmore in terms of your position and how he is? Muted, fam.
Yeah, sorry about that. I didn't realize I was muted. I agree with most of what I am sure I said, except the part where firing Tapa if he doesn't get out of the group stage of the Gold Cup. Can't agree with that, boss. I just can't agree with that. The preparation for the Gold Cup has been so tumultuous, right? It has been so terrible that to expect, and the group, you have to bear in mind too, two top teams in our group, man. Right? So to hold that against Tapa if he does not get out of this group, and they have to bear in mind also that we probably there's a possibility that we might see a lot of new faces in the Gold Cup, right? In the Gold Cup team. So to hold that against Tapa if he does not get out of the group stages of the Gold Cup, I think that is wrong. I think that is unfair. I think it's entirely on the terrible preparation for these respective tournaments. That would we're giving him basket to carry water, right? I think that we should press on with Theodore Whitmore. I can understand why people don't really like Theodore Whitmore, but my thing is I am a results-based man, right? And so far, Theodore Whitmore has been bringing us the results under terrible conditions, I might add. Under terrible conditions, right? And I really and truly don't see another coach coming in right now under these present circumstances and doing better than Theodore Tapa Whitmore, right? Because when you look at it, Winfried Schaefer was supposedly a big coach, but yet still Theodore Tapa Whitmore is doing better than him, right? So I don't agree with people who say we need to get rid of Theodore Tapa Whitmore. I think that, given what he has been given to work with, right, and what he has done, even though I see why people I see the argument from the tactic standpoint. Again, I agree with Bertram on that one as well. We even people want to see more attractive football, right? Against especially more credible opponents, as people would like to say, right? But yet still, when we're getting these friendly games against these credible nations, these more credible nations, and look at the teams that they are giving Theodore Tapa Whitmore to go and play these credible nations with, you can't expect the man for really and truly showcase his attacking, his tactical ability from an attacking standpoint against these particular teams with these particular set of players that he's being given. It's just unrealistic. It's just unrealistic. He's playing better teams. He's playing better teams with lesser quality players. Or you expect the man to go out there and play possession-based football and all of them kind of stuff. So I think we should stick with Theodore Tapa Whitmore for now. And another thing, I think Theodore Tapa Whitmore is very good at defensive organization. I think Theodore Tapa Whitmore is very good and has proven himself where that is concerned. We have not put a squad on on paper as yet for him to showcase the attacking side, if he indeed does have attacking tactics to implement in a game, because you need quality players to be able to implement attacking tactics.
All right, so I'm gonna move over to MPEC real quick, but I'm gonna put a little caveat over a monkey wrench in the spanner real quick, because I don't, from watching Jamaica for the past couple of years and the games that I have seen, I am yet to see a footballing philosophy. And that's where that's where I'm coming from. I'm yet to see a footballing philosophy. Aside from the basic park the bus, hope for the best type football. The Jose Mourinho 2.0. All right. So I want to know if we are comfortable with that type of football moving forward, because they just said it themselves. Tapa Whitmore has mastered the defensive part of the game, right? Regardless of the people that you have at your disposal, do you have a philosophy? You look at Leeds, when Leeds play football and play one way and one way only. That's their philosophy. We seem to have this park the bus football. Are we comfortable as fans? MPEC, I'll go to you. And you can also give us a take on it more. Are we comfortable as fans playing that type of football and relying on, part defender and inshallah?
All right. A few comments were made in the comment section. I don't want to get I don't want to give the wrong impression, to like J Russian. So, I don't think Whitmore is a world class coach by any means. But what I'm saying, and some has alluded to it, he is what we have working with now, and the results under trying circumstances speaks for itself. As it relates to tactics, I think he is tactically weak. That's my personal impression of him or observation. But if we look at some of the most accomplished teams across the world, they have a coaching staff of about 4 or 5 coaches alone to support the head coach or the technical director. Jamaica does not have that. The most we'll have is an assistant coach who is also someone who is not really better than Whitmore. So we need analysts. We need a tactician. We already have a goalkeeper coach, but there are other areas of the football that we need expertise to come in and support the coach. Most times he does not have the right tools, the right personnel, to work with. Now, the results that he have garnered over the years. Well, someone in the comment section said which top class team he has beaten. No, we don't. In the past, we didn't have the quality players to beat like a Belgium or England or so forth. So a coach only can work with the players that he is given to work with. No, we are in the quest to strengthen our team so that we can be world class ourselves. And with these new players coming in, I think Whitmore should be given a chance, one, and should be given additional staff so that he can be put to the test. And if it doesn't work out, then we will consider a replacement. But I don't think it would be fair to him for him to be taking the national team from 70-something to 45 and have reached a Gold Cup semi-final and a final, and then you're going to sack him just before a World Cup qualifying. That will be really unfair to the coach.
Cataract, jump in and make what you think about that particular point.
All right, all the things. All right, so let me begin. And Stan Kroenke, I am looking for your support as soon as I'm finished. When you are a manager and you are brought on as a CEO, there are certain things that are expected of you. That's why you're the head, and uneasy is the head that wears the crown. You are responsible for selecting the team that you want. You are responsible for indicating the resources that are necessary, and therefore the argument that says things have not been provided, I don't buy it, because if they're not, then you need to squeal, etc. But I want to say this. I think this is an unfortunate road that I'm going to beat you a little bit wrong, that you lead us down on match day. I don't think that a match day I want to be talking about whether my coach should be fired or not. I know them things I'm deal with on a match day. On a match day, I deal with the result, I deal with supporting the team. I'm just a fanatic. But
hold on,
be quiet for everybody time. But just take your beating, man. You lead me down a road where you shouldn't lead me down for a match day. Right? And a match day where 100% fans allow the coach to have the result. I'm going to comment on other things, but I make no comment about whether Whitmore should come and go. I'm just saying that there are a lot of gaps. The work that we are doing, like myself, Simon, I got introduced to a white kid at a university who's researching Jamaican players. Ancestry. The man that research ancestry, dog. Not even me go that far. Right? I'm saying that those are the things that the coach should be doing in his pastime, not Netflix or anything else. The coach should have been demanding that he goes to England. I'm talking before COVID, right? Pre-COVID. Does the coach have a strategic plan? Those are things that we are going to discuss after Japan. However, I am looking at what has happened here, and this is just a nightmare. And the coach is a part of that. You can't extricate yourself from it. So I want to see the game. I now sleep till 2 o'clock, and I now sleep till 4 in the morning, and then we can probably have a 3-hour live after. if Coach Min's wife will allow us to break up our breakfast time, right? But I just want a couple of points that were made. The lack of philosophy is obvious. Tapper is no Mourinho. And if the JFF wants to have, and a man must get his fair due, even though the fair due was not given to other people, but he must get his fair due, right? People who remain nameless, and I'm going to say them name. But what's good for the goose is good for the gander. So I say fairness. But if the results don't go your way with what is available to you, then the jury has to be out. And at that point, I will come with the jury. If you don't come out of the group stage, that's for that. The last thing I'm going to say God bless a long time and I'm going to hear a whole heap of points being made. You play the teams that you are given to play, right? In terms of competitive matches. As a coach, I remember Rene Samoa demanding that we get more competitive friendlies, right? I haven't heard Tapper make those sort of same demands, and that we should not be wasting FIFA windows sitting at home. And the last point I'm going to make on this matter, if the JFF, you saw something called a chicken and the egg, right? What comes first? Let's say, I don't know. Let's say Tapper became, I don't know. Let's say Tapper met a Japanese girl there tomorrow and get married and decide he's done with Jamaica. They want nothing to do. He meet Miss Japan. She proposed to him and he fall in love and he now come back. Right? Done with Jamaica. He will live a millionaire lifestyle in Japan. If the GFF were to appoint somebody like a Jose Mourinho, Antonio Conte, assuming they'll even look at the job, right? The kind of excitement that it will bring to the whole football program, the lift that it would get. Because right now our football is in the doldrums. Nobody's excited about the teams we pick. Nobody's excited about the games we play. No one. And more so, corporate Jamaica is not excited about this project, about going to Qatar 2020, because they have not jumped on board as they have in the past, even to give cash or kind. That's where I leave it. Go Jamaica. We could talk about the game a little bit more.
Well, we need to get Mr. Porter on board. However, before we do that, let me put out my defense because, Cataract nearly cut off me. Listen, I was brought in as a substitute for tonight. I was given the topics of discussion by the board of the coaches desk corporation. So I was told we need to bring up the qualities of the coaches. And which is what I asked for. I need to get you guys' opinion on the quality of the coaches. Not once have I mentioned Fire Tapper. You guys are the ones that brought up Fire. But I say you guys are your confidence level in Theodore Whitmore. And if in conversation about Theodore Whitmore's confidence level, you guys bring up Fire in him, that goes to show to me that you might not be as confident as you say you actually are. Because I never once mentioned Fire Tapper Whitmore. I just want to know what your confidence level are in this man. So Mr. Devon Moore, before we move on to Serbia, one would admit is not the most exciting topic of the night. But what do you think about Tapper Whitmore in terms of his ability to take us to glory?
I have heard a lot of comment on Tapper, and I heard MPEC, and I kind of agree with him. As a coach, you only can coach what is put in front of you, and you cannot use the Japan tour to judge him. He has done a lot for Jamaica football, and even if he does not come out of the group stage of the Gold Cup, I wouldn't fire him, because firing Tapper is a recipe for disaster in World Cup qualifying. A new coach has to come in, have a set of players that he have never seen before, new philosophy. Everything is brand new to him. For him to mold this team getting into the World Cup qualifiers will be an utter disaster. We have to just work with Tapper, give him the resources that he needs. People are saying that he doesn't select his team or pick his team. Well, whatever the JFF is doing, make sure he has the best pool of player to select a squad of 23 or 26 going into Gold Cup and World Cup. And when I said the best pool of player, you have to go out and be robust in your selection and give him what he needs. I know Tapper been asking for stuff, and it's not coming forth to him. And it is unreasonable for people to bashing him and say we should fire him. If we fire Tapper, might as well we kiss World Cup qualifiers goodbye. And that's all I have to say.
Manners and respect.
Rome,
All right,
I want to ask Devon something, a rebuttal. So Devon, if the results not going our way, we must stick with the train if it's running to a wreck. Notice I said no, it might have my support now because the thing I'm going now. But you only have so many stations on the train track. The Amtrak only depends so much. The Gold Cup is hold on. The Japan tour is one, which we are looking at. The Gold Cup is another. And I think we have to stop at that. What happens there, we have to stop and make an assessment. The start of the World Cup, because it would be worse to go into the World Cup, start off with a few disastrous results, and then try to change a coach midstream. So I am not advocating to fire the coach. I'm advocating and hoping that the coach wins the Gold Cup. But I am saying here clearly, a knockout at the group stage of the Gold Cup will demand from me as a fan and from the Jamaican public, myself and Formula Sports, I'm going to speak on our behalf, living on the rock, going to demand that everything can't just go as business as usual. If we get the worst ever result that we've had in the Gold Cup in the last 3 outings, we get this in a World Cup year.
So I never understand why people want to buy Ferrari with bicycle money. I never understand that. Like you can only afford a bicycle, but you want to buy a Ferrari. You don't have money to buy Ferraris. It's not in your budget. You don't have that.
Yeah.
And sometimes the person who's in the seat will not have the same influence as a foreign coach, because familiarity sometimes breeds contempt, right? You're used to the person, you're seeing him every day, don't look as good, doesn't appear as good, and you want something new and foreign and shiny. And you bring Schaefer in, and what did he do? Nice, shiny, very expensive, and bombed out. So look, you have to work with what you have. And my hope, yeah, go ahead, Devon.
I agree with you. the old folks used to say, it's not all that glitters is gold. Okay, so I will put my neck on the line for Tapa to say he'll get us into the group stage of the Gold Cup. Give him the necessary pieces. He will put us into the knockout of the Gold Cup, because the Gold Cup is probably our friendly games to the World Cup qualifiers.
So here's what I find funny, right? Here's what I find funny. So the US is playing games, whether it's, friendlies or now in the Nations League. I don't hear any struggle about them getting the full contingency of players to come play these games. We first had contractor situation when we go to Austria. Now we go to Japan and half the squad is not there. So we're not the most organized. We don't have the most organized program to allow Tapa to have everything at his disposal to then be able to judge him. You can't judge this person when they have a situation which is chaotic, as I think someone has mentioned. It has to be you have things really well constructed, well situated. Then you can make an informed decision. You know what? I've given you everything at your disposal. You just don't have the capability to get it done. Right now, we have not done that. We are in a chaotic situation. And frankly, look at this team. It's like we have 11 defenders. And so we talk about football philosophy. And I heard Rome says this. So what is England's philosophy? What has been for the last 25 years? When the philosophy changed? When they got good players. When the players now become competent and can compete with the Germans and Spains of the world. That's when the philosophy evolves and you see what it looks like. You can't do it with people. All they can do is play defensively. Okay, you know what? They can't keep the ball. If you can't keep the ball, you can't impose your will on other teams. So what you have to do, close it in, make sure you don't get embarrassed, and hope you hit on the counter. We don't have the players to keep playing football.
Play the rough and tough like Marcelo Bielsa.
Yeah. Let me say this, because I agree with you, Crank. Let me just say this, because a lot of persons keep talking about we don't have a footballing philosophy. All right, and that is they're using that as a mark against Tapa. What philosophy did Rene Simoes leave with Jamaica when he left? What philosophy did Schaefer leave with Jamaica? So as a coach goes, the philosophy goes. That's how philosophy work. If it's a Jamaican philosophy of football, why, when a coach leave, the philosophy goes? And I'm saying that if it's about philosophy, Schaefer didn't leave no philosophy. Simoes didn't leave no philosophy. All of the other coaches that came off what? Tell me what philosophy. Tell me what philosophy Rene Simoes left. Tell me what philosophies. What philosophy?
Put some respect for the name. He left the philosophy.
Tell me this philosophy. Tell me.
He left the philosophy of possession football.
Stop. Let me respond to that. Hold on.
You ask a
stop.
Question,
so let me respond. So you respond. So let me answer that.
Talk one at a time. It has to be one at a time. Let me answer the question. Just finish what you have said.
I said he left three things in the philosophy. He brought possession football to Jamaica, right? Short passing, and cut out the dribbling, and last but not least, he brought in the role of the sweeper.
What? All right, Cataract. Listen, I must be. Let me say this. I admit, Cataract. I'm from a different planet, because if that is philosophy, I am from a different. I didn't know that philosophy. Sorry, Cataract. I didn't know, because in my studies of coaching, a philosophy is not bringing in a centre back and short passing. That's not a philosophy. When you have a philosophy in a country, it permeates every level of your national team. When Simoes left here, I didn't see my under-17 team playing no this and that. What are you telling me about? None of these coaches left any philosophy in Jamaica. Not one of them.
All right.
So that cannot be the mark. Listen, let me say this though. Rene Simoes is a great coach. So he's not in the league at Tapa, but when it comes down to philosophy, none of these coaches have left philosophy in Jamaica.
I am sure sports. You're talking about a philosophy that a country or a program that follows will go through, but you're completely neglecting the fact that Jamaica was never, and will never at this point have a system or a setup that can flow from top to bottom. We don't have a youth set up properly. We don't have an academy set up
That's
properly.
a philosophy.
That's what I'm saying. There has never been that type of philosophy to talk about.
I don't mean if you talk to a cataract if you tell.
Wait, hold on. So what I am saying is, and what I think Cataract is saying is that when René Simoes come, the type of football that he plays is his philosophy. Type of football. When you look at Marcelo Bielsa, quick, fast pace, always running, quick passing, that's his philosophy of football. When you look at Man City, the same thing. Always on the ball, moving the ball quickly, short passes, movement. That's the philosophy of football. That's what we talk about when we mention philosophy of football. But wait, hold on. We're going to go around the panel one more time. But what I really want to say is this. And Cranky hit on it earlier. The reason why... You
can't throw me under the bus. You're going to throw me under the bus and gone. All right, cool.
No. We're not going to go back to you, man. The reason why Jamaica is absolutely has to stick with Theodore Whitmore right now is because they have, whether or not he's good, bad, or indifferent, they have no options. Jamaica struggle to play the players. Or you have to play another coach. You struggle to find $500 for the man them. Or we have to find a big coach to come in to coach a team. It's not happening. The JFF is not running on gasoline, they run on water. So all of the people were thinking that Theodore Whitmore should go and he's not good enough. He's what we have and he's what we're going to have to depend on to move forward, because if you think about it, unless I'm going to get Cataract 50% off, it's not happening. No one else to come and coach his team.
Can I ask a question? I want to ask a question. If the good Lord should come for Tapper, you're saying that that's the end of Jamaican football? No, nothing. Hold on. You said there's nothing we can do if it's not Tapper, right? And I'm here supporting the coach, but I'm saying there must be a point below which, if the standards and results drop, we have to ask serious questions and make certain decisions. I'm going to shut up now and I want to answer. I'm going to say that René Simoes left the philosophy. We chose not to maintain it. We chose not to retain it. And if he's gone, that's not his responsibility. He came, he provided a philosophy, and he got a fight. There were persons like, if I remember the time, Jeffrey Maxwell, who were opposed to that philosophy as Jamaican local coaches, and therefore there was never buy-in in total. But that's not his fault.
Football philosophy.
Can I ask a question?
Let me just.
Can I ask a question?
Formula Sports. Well, make you address him before you ask another question.
All right, cool.
Because this is directed. Because remember, a style of play is one of the most minuscule part of a nation's footballing philosophy. When the Dutch speaks about complete football, it's a whole philosophy from their under-10s to their senior teams throughout their leagues, and all their coaches learn. So when the Football Association bring their coaches together, teach them the philosophy that the country is going to play all the coaches in the junior level. So when you go into their schools and academy, you see the kids learning those things. René Simoes brought a style of play to Jamaica that involved possessing the ball and how we moved. That is not a footballing philosophy. A footballing philosophy is in a manual where all your coaches have to learn it so they can educate all your kids. We have never had that in our entire history as a footballing nation.
So I think
we're
confusing.
Can I say something?
Well, Cataract, you go and then Formula Sports jump in.
I'm going
not
to
Cataract, sorry, not Cataract. Cranky. My bad.
I think we're confusing something. You can have a philosophy. The question is, how do you permeate that philosophy throughout whatever program you're trying to permeate the philosophy, right? We're confusing the concept of, I have a philosophy. This is my philosophy of how I should play football. And then what management is saying is that, look, if you have a philosophy, the question is, does your country want to adopt that philosophy?
Yes, exactly.
If they want to adopt it, how do they go about adopting that philosophy? That we're talking about.
That's what I was. Oh, you're not finished.
Yeah. But here's the point, guys, which is, Cataract asked the question, around, well, if something happened, if Whitmore decides, get hit by a train tomorrow, we always use that terminology, get hit by a train, what happens to the program? Well, you know what? Unless one has a solution, I always say this, if you're going to criticize something, propose a solution. What would you do if you were in that seat? And what corporations do, what companies do, what people do is they have something called succession planning, which is, you know what? If Whitmore get hit by a train, here's who would reside in Whitmore's seat. And they groom people to be able to assume those roles, and they have a timeline for doing so. Now, my hope is that the JFF has assistant coaches say, you know what? This person can be an interim coach for a while, and maybe they learn on the job to get there, or they have a contingency plan to say, we'll go out and source talent from maybe somebody from Trinidad, who knows? Because we can't afford the coaches from the more material nations, from the nations who are what I think someone called to be credible, right? We can't compensate those coaches. We don't have the resources to do so. So I do think it's very important when we are doing this criticism of Tapa. The question is, who would you bring in to function in that capacity? And would we all accept that person in that role? And always think about, as I said before, you do not have the resources to compensate the big name coaches. We did it with Schaefer, and I'm sure we're still struggling to pay off that debt.
Yeah, I mean, Stan is right. Basically, you have coaching philosophy, and then it's all about if the system wants to adapt that philosophy and implement that philosophy right throughout the system, right? So they don't have to adapt the coach's philosophy, and they can adapt the coach's philosophy. What I want to ask, though, right, is can pragmatism be termed as a coaching philosophy? Can pragmatism be termed as a coach's philosophy? That's what I want.
What I want to say is that those things are part of the philosophy, because here is where Ketarak and I agree, and most of us agree on that the idea of a philosophy, like René Simoes revolutionized Jamaica footballing culture about nutrition and all of that. All of these things are part of the philosophy. When you speak to like a Craig Butler and he speaks about the Phoenix Academy as an example, and what is your philosophy? And one of the things he will tell you is about loyalty. You see, when you create a philosophy, it is not necessarily the national coach. And I think that is why René Simoes came as a national coach, and then they moved him to technical director. I believe if you're the technical director, like some of the clubs in England may have, they call him they are the head of football, like Edward Arsenal. You have them all over. These guys are responsible for what you call the philosophy, and they find coaches to come in at a different level. So when Simoes moved to the post of technical director, I think at that time he should not have been coaching the national team. So he could have created the philosophy, and like Cranky said, and then have it all across Jamaica, because he actually had two stints. I think what happened, he kept the national coaching job and he kept the technical director's job. Whitmore is the national coach.
Simoes was the technical director. Carl Brown was the head coach of the national team.
All right, but Whitmore is not a technical director. He's just a coach. Is the coach responsible for the philosophy, or is it the technical director that is who is responsible for it? And maybe one of the more learned person can explain that to me.
I'm sure. I think you're putting too much of a broader umbrella over the word philosophy, which is not really compounding to what we're trying to get at. What I mean by that is, if you're saying that a country has a philosophy that every coach that go through them system supposed to follow, that means that every coach in England should be playing the same type of football, and that's not the case. If you look at how Stoke play football compared to how the Brighton manager play football, right? And that's just not the case. The philosophy in what you're saying, right, is that everyone have a common sense to know you have an academy, you have a nutrition plan, you have a coach plan. That's just a broad brush of how you run your country's footballing program. Jamaica cannot run it in that regard because of our financial difficulties or frailties at this point, other countries are able to do so. So the FA have certain rules and laws that every club have to follow, right? In terms of philosophy, you can't say each country has a coaching philosophy they have to follow, because if that's the case, that means that everybody will be playing Stoke football. We have Rory Delap just throwing the ball into the box every day. It's
So
just,
guys,
that's
guys,
just simply not the case.
No man, the coach is in the national program. The coach is in the national
I think,
program. So
yeah,
you're
And
under
they are-
15 team. So
the
when
national.
you look at
Hold
Spain, for example, you know the Spain female football team play like the Spain male. Same thing with Brazil. They play the same, because if you're part of the national setup of Brazil, and for example, just as an example, if I'm in Jamaica and I can represent Brazil, it is easier for me to know, based on the position that I'm going to play, what is expected of me, because there is a philosophy in terms of how Brazil play that is common to each position and all of that. In Jamaica, I have never seen our teams look alike at the male or female level, which means that different coaches come in and they bring their own style. So, well, you know what? Maybe we have philosophy, and it is called, our philosophy is do what the coaches are doing. And maybe that is the philosophy.
Can I make a point? Make a point for a second. Thomas Ford asked a brilliant question, which no one has answered yet. His question was, is pragmatism a philosophy? Sam Allardyce is a pragmatic person. He knows what he has at disposal, and he uses the best of his ability. Is that his philosophy? And more recently, he complained that Antonio was I'm gonna use my own word, dissing him, or not thinking about that he's using what is at disposal to be able to formulate a plan to execute to make sure he can be successful. He can't go play position football when the players can't keep the ball.
Can't keep the ball.
Exactly. That was my point earlier.
Yeah, because he picks up poor teams.
So that's a good question.
They can't keep the ball. So what he does, he brings it in, he plays whatever he needs to do to win. And so therefore, is that a philosophy or is that a reactive? Because here's the thing about philosophies, which is, to me, it's more proactive than reactive. Pragmatism, more reactive. I realize what I have. I can't do anything about it. So you know what? I'm just going to bring them together. Like we have going to play Serbia tomorrow or tonight, later on this evening. I only have a bunch of defenders. I'm going to defend. And hopefully I get a break and score a goal. I'm going to lock down it. That's not a philosophy. That's reactive.
That's reactive.
My thing is, right, just to use a simple example, right? How are we going to use, for instance, just an example, the tactic of runners in behind, right? When, for instance, the strikers have no pace. You get what I'm saying?
All right, so
I'm making sense.
We're gonna make Michael. You're making a lot of sense. So we're gonna make Michael jump in. But before Michael jump in, I would like to say towards that effect, being a pragmatic coach is a choice because you want the result. You would agree with me on that, right? It's a choice that you make. Like Tapa put on 5 out of 10 outfield players to be defenders. He made that choice, right? Because he want to get a result. If Tapa had a stick-to-itiveness, for want of a better phrase, way that he wants to play football and a way that he wants to see his team play, separate and aside from getting the result, he would be playing, let's say him have a 4-3-3 type of footballing philosophy that he will not waver from. He would put out a team that says 4-3-3. But his thing is about getting the result.
You're being unfair. So here's the thing. Who's Tapa's audience that he's trying to respond to? Who's Tapa's audience?
Who's his audience? Maybe the JFF.
No, you're part of his audience. No, you're his audience. The man on the street is his audience. The JFF is his audience. He has a very wide, dispersed, distributed audience he has to respond to. And that audience don't want bad results. That means he has to be pragmatic.
But Stan, you know what's the crazy thing about it?
I'm not saying it's
no, but guys, you know what's the crazy thing about it? All right, let me give you a perfect example. If we were playing a more attractive brand of football, right, and the results weren't coming in, the same fans would be anti-Theodore Tapa Whitmore no matter how attractive the football is. Look at Brighton, for instance. Right, Brighton plays an attractive brand of football. They don't necessarily get the results that they want all the time, right? And their fans in England are saying that the manager needs to change and be more pragmatic. But look at a team like Newcastle, for instance. Pragmatism, right? Their fans are crying out and saying we want a more attractive brand of football. You can't please the fans. You cannot please
Alright,
the
Michael.
fans.
Welcome to the chat, Mike. Welcome to the group, Michael. Let us know what you're thinking.
It's fun to listen to you guys. Yeah, it's good questions though. A really good topic. The thing though is earlier it was mentioned, and it is correct, that the technical director and the association are the style, the philosophy are their responsibility. It's their responsibility. However, their responsibility is only goes so far as to set the framework within which it can exist. So, for instance, if you say that if you've defined the national philosophy, for instance, as ball possession, then it's the association's responsibility to create the framework for developing the coaches, for developing players. That's their responsibility. But they cannot force a club to play that style, because a club's responsibility is to its owners and to its shareholders. And if what they need is wins to get money, whatever caused them to win is what they'll do. And so you brought up the case of Stoke. Stoke did what it could to win, because Stoke had the players that could play that style at the money they could spend. If Stoke had $100 million budget, Stoke would have played a different style of football. You can't do it. You play with what. So the coaching has nothing to do with your philosophy, the national philosophy. The coaching has to do with what the club owners tell the coach to do. National team, different story. National team should play your country's style, but again, within the constraints of the resources given to it. So if we have a team and we have a coach and we have players, that coach is going to coach those players to the best of his ability and their ability. Right? So now we have the situation, which could be a problem, or it might not be, we don't know, but we have the situation where our coach is now looking at a much broader pool of players than he ever has, who are coming with much different skill sets from what he's accustomed to. And the association pretty much has a choice. Do they gamble and replace him now and bring in somebody who is more, who they believe has a better chance of dealing with this broader talent base? Or do they give this man the opportunity to work with this broader talent base and evaluate him as he goes on? That's pretty much where it is. The only real question, if we go the second route, is at what point do you make this evaluation? This came up several weeks ago, and I was saying the midway in the hex, if we, because we should be in the hex. If we're midway through the hex and the results are not going, if you're going to change him, that would have to be the time. I would not change him right after the Gold Cup, because for me, going through the Gold Cup is still just evaluating players. Because
but Michael, you're still limited. You're still limited in your options,
I know.
We're
absolutely.
You don't have the resources to change him, right? So you change him, but who do you replace him with?
Well, this again is, like I said, it's not ideal, because you don't, like right now they do have an assistant coach, but the assistant coach, from my understanding, is really not the person they're looking at promoting. I don't know Jerome Waite, as such. He could be, he could not be, I don't know. But
the only person can take it over is the technical director, because he has been in that hot seat before, which is Wendell Dunzel.
Yeah. But again, part of the problem, because Wendell has been in the system for how long, and we still are not seeing any change. We're not seeing the things that we need for player development. We're still not seeing more coaching. We're still not seeing better coaching.
All right.
We're still, player development is still not anywhere where it should be. We still don't see our U15s, U17s, U21s playing the same style going through. We're not seeing players at the U21 level looking ready to jump into the senior team. Those are the things you should be seeing.
Let me, and I think this is a good conversation to have instead of focusing on whether. I think I love how it segue, into this instead of whether Tapa should keep his job. So looking at an article that I had a long time ago from some coaching thing I did, and it spoke about the success of German football, and they listed 10 components as to why German football was successful in terms of them winning titles, doing well in Europe. And one of the number one priority they have, I don't know if you know this, is coaching. And up to the time of this article, Germany had 34,970 FIFA certified coaches. And up to that point, England had 2,769. Let me say the number again. Germany had 34,970. And England had 2,769. I think they had second only to Spain, and Spain was doing well with tiki-taki. You can check that out. One of the other things they did was their focus on youth development. They do that. Then you have, I'm just giving you different things. Competition for places, and they use the Charles Darwin theory of survival of the fittest. And what they do, their coaches, they try to develop as many players in as many positions, so that at the end you have like 100 players trying to play right back for Germany, and because of the competition, you get the top one. All right, so they have and that is because of coaching. They focus more on technique than physique. There's a time, so you have these. I am saying that these, you talk about consistency. This is one of the other points. It says another key aspect of German coaching is that all age groups are all schooled. All age groups are all schooled in playing 4-2-3-1 system, the formation favored by the senior coach at that time. That means that by the time young players are ready to take the next step up, they are already prepared for what is to come. They talk about mentality and they kind of break it down. And what I want to see is that Jamaica develop. I'm not asking every club to look the same way, but if you're going to be a part of the national team, I, as a coach of a club team, need to know what the expectation of the national team is. For the little guy I'm building as a center forward, because do I want to win my competition, I also want to prepare him to play for the national team. So how do I, there must be some sort of idea that I have in my head, either by just watching the national team. And when I watch the national team over 5 matches, I should be able to come back to my club and say, listen, the coach that they have, they play with an inverted right back. And so listen, I want you to be in the national team. So we want to teach you and coach you how to play that kind of way so you can get a call up. I think we kind of need something like that. I don't know if Whitmore is the person to do it. And I think that is where we need to look overseas. And then we develop our local coaches to take the different positions throughout the national teams. Yeah,
again,
but that's...
Hold on. Again, let me say this. I chime in. You see the thing about philosophy, I think you get it. You're making a slight error. And Stan is correct. In England, you have a number of foreign coaches, a number of clubs that the team brings its own philosophy. Some clubs will not accept defensive football. That's why Mourinho could never survive at Tottenham Hotspur. Spurs have grown up on the Ricky Villa and Ozzy Ardiles era, and they will never accept a park the bus. So that was never going to happen. Other clubs are quite happy to do that. Your Stoke Cities of the world are quite happy to play defensive football. Crystal Palace is quite happy with whatever they have. Their fans are not making a fuss as long as they're mid-table. But here's the problem with the philosophy. And I don't know who is in the black camera. We have a new philosophy at coach's desk that we keep the camera on, and all the panelists can't adhere to the philosophy. That's the problem with the philosophy. You will always have someone unruly. So please turn your camera on, whoever it is, right?
I think I never.
Devon, See,
Must be.
and a senior player rioted. So let me say, and I don't want us to belabor this because this is a really academic discussion. I would depend on a match game. I want to get back to the exciting thing about match and say to you that at the time that Simoes was here, he had a revolution or an insurgency from some local based coaches who felt that they could have done better and wanted that salary. I recall, I mentioned the name before. I mentioned the name before of the coach.
Jeffrey Maxwell.
Jeffrey Maxwell was leading that to say, why we need a foreigner? Pay me this big money and I will do the job. Right? And so there was never any coming together of minds. And I'll leave that there. But I'm saying, Simoes moved the philosophy. We had our philosophy in Jamaica. When I came and I saw Jamaican football was two things. We couldn't control a football to save our life. Every match you go in the Premier League, a man get a ball, it goes 10 yards from his foot. Right? Our philosophy was Brocky Boo. We love the salad and pile and the whole stadium lift up. When we got to the Mexico match, I don't know those of us who were old enough to be there. Every pass that was made, we were ole, ole. We began cheering for successful passes. So over the course of a hexagonal, we moved from cheering every time Theodore Whitmore, who was the chief culprit of the salad and piling, and dribbling and holding on to the ball long, right? And we began cheering your Peter Cargills, even when he was turning the ball back. So there was a whole change in the philosophy. We got to appreciate that a back pass had some usefulness. And so when we come all the way forward, and I want to come to today's thing, Stan, and again, just for this program, I'm sticking to what Mr. Roman, now call him name, both of them. If you are looking to hold the ball, then you should have been looking for a darn central defensive midfielder who has demonstrated that ability season in, season out, to be able to hold the ball, not lose it, and dictate the pace of the game. That's the central defender you should be looking for, right? You could not be looking for a central defender or attempting to convert another central defender into a CDM. And I looked at Damian Lowe's stats. Damian Lowe's passing percentage for any season, and certainly the last season that I have full stats for, when he was in Norway, I think it was, is 72%. And his passing stats now at his current club is pretty much around the same level. So we're talking about a CDM that is likely to make 3 out of 10 errant passes. That's not what you want. You essential defenders trained to clear the ball out of defense.
And let's not forget, using a central defender passing stats, comparing it to a midfielder.
No, I'm not comparing. No, I'm not saying that you are. Stop. I am not comparing his passing stats. You are moving him into a position of a CDM, and therefore you have to look, does his statistics show the capabilities to be able to produce in that role? Otherwise, you're going to go back to the same Michael Hector problem.
So Cataract, hold on.
Like somebody come for you, but I was not coming for you, fam. I was merely saying that if you have a defender, you look at his passing ability right now as a defender, it's going to be totally different when him going at the midfield, because passing to your other defender, passing back to your keeper is totally different from having someone in your back and then you're passing at a 30-yard diagonal pass over there, so or a true ball through another midfielder. So I understand what you're saying. I'm actually jumping on to your point and saying, yeah, I agree with you.
But what I want to get is that there are some central defenders, such as John Stones, right, who have that kind of capability and therefore are comfortable on the ball, whose passes are not errant, who can transition in those things. When Manchester City was looking to put Fernandinho back into defense, right, or Liverpool, remind me of the name, because I don't keep your calling to the side. Move
Henderson.
No, man, not Henderson.
Fabinho
into central. They looked at his analytics and said, okay, here is a player who's playing in CDM whose aerial ability, aerial duels, ground duels suggest that he could fit into the back line. They didn't just get up and take, you know, I don't know.
Cataract. Here why I would step in.
I'm confused. But I'm just saying to you, we have gone down this road before. No man, we've gone down this road before about trying to convert a central defender into a CDM, and it worked horrendously for us.
Yeah, but Cataract, you have to understand. It is not that we have the full complement of players in Japan at the moment, and we're gonna put a makeshift CDM. We don't have it. So we have to put the best possible player there that can give us something and hope for the best. That's all.
So okay. I think Damien will be fine. Okay, I think Damien is a footballer. He'll be fine. Not worried about Damien. You have bigger fish to fry.
And then the next thing, I think the coach is also going for height as well, because the defenders are pretty tall, so he's going for height. So he picked a team with more height.
All right, guys. So I would.
Sorry, you have two kinds of central defensive midfielders.
A little bit today.
Rob, I just want to say that you have two kinds of central defensive midfielders. You have your N'Golo Kante, Roy Keane, those stocky, battling kind of central defensive midfielders, and then it began with with people like with Leeds we had Carlton Palmer, but you had Patrick Vieira, the longer ranging guys played in the central midfield, Matip, and Matic, at Chelsea,
and you have Gattuso,
and then you have Gennaro Gattuso. That's a small kind of pit bull. So I don't know that height is necessarily a defining factor at CDM, because you can have two different kinds of central defensive midfielders. That's just my take, and allow Rome to move on.
No, I wasn't talking specifically as it relates to CDM. I mean the team that he picked in general. He tend to, based on what I've seen, he tend to pick the taller set of players to go up against the Serbians.
That's the only reason he would have picked Hector. I don't mean to get on Hector, but the height must be the reason.
He's not cranky. Cranky. He is not there.
I know he's not. I'm just saying.
So you have given us the philosophy, Cranky. Why did you say this? Why did you say
again?
Why did you save us 1 hour?
Why did Damien play?
Why did you save us 1 hour?
I rate Damien as a footballer.
Why did you save us 1 hour and tell us that the philosophy is Palman pick first? That's the philosophy.
No, I've said this before. Which is, I don't think we're being fair to Whitmore. When Whitmore has all the tools, if we get all the players we expect to get into the program, and he has that contingent of players to pick from, my hope is he'll select an unbiased team or unbiased squad, and then pick the best 11 players, give him his strategy and his philosophy to go play. Right now, there's a hodgepodge pickup team, and he's going to make the best of a bad situation.
Gentlemen, breaking news.
Guys,
go ahead, Devon.
Extra time, 7 minutes in extra time. 2-2 US and Mexico.
I'm actually watching the game while you're speaking, and there's a lot of bad blood in this game. A lot of bad blood. The man just stepped in the keeper and didn't get a red card.
I didn't get a red.
He didn't get a red. He should have gotten a red.
Yeah.
My thing though, guys, look at the Saudi Arabia game, right? We had a good positive performance in the Saudi Arabia game, right? And look at the squad that was able to assemble. Not for the first game, for the second game.
Better personnel.
Right? Exactly. That is my point. My thing is, we cannot, because here's the thing. Most Jamaicans want Theodore Tapper Whitmore to be playing tiki-taka football. Right? I just don't get it. We Tapper has not had, well, apart from the Saudi Arabia game, right, for a good while, again, when we are going up against credible opposition, right? Tapper has not had the personnel, generally speaking, to be able to play a more attractive brand of football, in my opinion. Because you can't, attractive brand of football does not only mean that you have the tactics up here, or you have the tactical expertise up here. You also need the players to be of a certain type of a quality to be able to implement a wide variety of attacking tactics.
Gentlemen,
What if the team win tomorrow? I mean, good performance. What would we say then of Tapper? Will we say well done, Tapper, or will we speak about how the players perform? That's always the thing. Because the football is when the team.
I am sports. Tapper is my coach. He is our national coach, and whatever transpire into tomorrow's game, if we win the game, I think we're gonna scrape out a 2-1 win anyway. If we win the game tomorrow, all I'm saying, regardless of we winning that game, we have better personnel, and the JFF must be very coherent in what they're doing, and don't take that win to say it's God gift. We have better players, bring them in and get the team a little bit better.
Look, just to be clear,
so we could step it up a little bit, get some positivity. Because we talk about, it's been a lot of negativity spraying about, the surroundings that Tapper Whitmore and what we need. So let's pull it full circle now and start talking about the game tomorrow or later on today. In where we expect who's staying up for it. And I know Mr. Devon saying him think we're scrape off a 2-1 win. But Cranky, what do you think? What do you think the results are gonna be for later on?
I think both Manningsman and Devon has been drinking before they come into the program, and they stop drinking. Not a good thing. Not a good thing.
Cranky.
I don't know how 11 defenders are going to beat the team. Huh?
Cranky. See this?
See, that's what I'm talking about. I love the optimism. I must admit, I had the optimism for the US game, even without the problems. And we see that turn out. Now it's a different situation, a different setup. Everybody had to travel to Japan, both Serbia and us.
The ball is round.
But I look at the players and I don't have that confidence, especially up front. I mean, as Foreman said before, Gray has lost a couple of steps. Is Gray and East and I don't know. Are they gonna be able to? I don't see it. I must admit, I'm a little pessimistic when it comes to that. I wish for the best. I hope we have a good outcome, but I find it hard to envision it. Just thinking totality in terms of the players we have, who Serbia is, even with 9 missing players, because we're missing 12 players too. We're missing a lot of players. I find it, and the team that we have on the field, it's not that we have a team who can possess the ball, who can penetrate the defense, who can be creative on their own individually. I just don't see how we get a positive result from this game, but I could be wrong.
You play like Leeds.
You mean you
play like Leeds? You play the rough and tug. You play the rough and tug football. You be patient with the ball at the back. When they come in, you suck them in and play it over the top. Have Javon East running at them. It becomes you create a one-on-one situation. In a one-on-one situation as a coach, anything goes.
Yeah, I know.
Can I have a talk, please?
Go ahead.
All right. So I've been off camera, but I've been listening to all of you guys with the philosophy and all of that. Right now, the coach Whitmore, it boils down to this. For right now, let's put the philosophy aside. It's going to boil down to tactics, right? And you should have a lot of tactical ability in your locker, right? So the squad that you have now, you're going to play, if we don't have an attacking squad for right now, we're going to play defensive and try to play a counter-attacking football. And if we bring in the quality players to play a possession-based football, then it's going to be that coach tactical decision to come up with that formula. If we're going to possess the ball, how we're going to distribute and all of that. So it's not going to really boil down to the whole grassroots are playing this system right throughout the ranks for right now, because we don't have that system, right? So it's going to be just that coach and the crop of players that he has in the moment. If they're good at defending, yes, we're going to sit back, suck teams in, and play a counter-attacking football, because we're going to have the speed. We're always going to, if we don't have one thing, we're going to always have the speed. And if we get the players that can hold the ball and possess the ball, we're going to see now if it's Theodore that don't has the tactical ability to get us where we at. But for right now, we're just going to have to play the type of football that the guys can play for right now.
Well
Guys,
said, well
I
said.
am
Michael,
not.
what do you think about the game later? Michael, I think we can pull it off later.
I'm like Cronky. You know what? I just have to look at the levels of play of the players. Yes, this is not the starting Serbian team, but every one of these players is playing in one of the upper level leagues, right? Their home league is way levels better than even MLS. So the reality is they're playing better football in their clubs, right? So there are no rooks. We're not coming up against a single rooks in that squad. All of them are seasoned quality players. We have lots of question marks against some of ours who are there, and we just have to accept that. That being said, ball's still round, and if the players show up, if our players show up and actually follow instruction, because that for me has always been Jamaica's biggest problem. Do our players follow instruction? They will show up to a game. We have the side to win a game. We have the tactic to win a game. And the first thing that go wrong against us, every man for himself, and the whole thing broke up. If that happens, we're going to get shellacked. If they show up and stick to the plan, we can win a 1-0 and come out of town. So me see it.
True. Formula, where you
All right. Oh.
Hold on, I am sure. Formula, I'm thinking. Sorry. Go on, I am sure. Where you say?
Yeah, see this? This is a silver ball. I'm looking through to see the score. And Cranky, I am not drinking. I'm just looking through the silver ball. And when I look through the silver ball, I see a victory for Jamaica. You understand me? Listen, I don't know, but this is where I give Whitmore credit. Every time we think that the team is going to fail miserably under Whitmore, he gets them to perform. I don't know what he has. I don't know what he says. After the first game in Saudi Arabia, everyone was expecting that the team would be beaten badly, and they put on a performance. The USA game, none of us thought at the beginning of that game that we would have been in it, given all the issues we were having, and they put in a performance. The Gold Cup that he took them to the final, most of us felt because of the local squad, we were going to get knocked out at the first round. He does, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's luck. I don't know if it is his way to motivate players, but he seemed to be able to get the best out of players that we don't think are very good. And so, I mean, I'm going to believe, based on the comments coming out of the camp, I saw some pictures of everybody hanging out and having fun, that there is some level of chemistry being built. And because it is not the Serbia's strongest team, it's 19 players they have just like us, with 3 goalkeepers just like us. I think we are going to win this game. I think we may lose the second game, but I think this is a game we're going to win. And see it, the silver ball says that too. So I think 2-1.
You sound like an Arsenal fan. You sound like an Arsenal fan, to be honest.
Well, if I believe Arsenal are going to win.
We're going to have to give the moderator a red card. We said no club football today. We said no club football now.
Can't help himself.
Can't help himself.
We're going to put you in a timeout.
we don't talk much about Serbia.
But hold on, so hold on, the rest of it prediction.
Who me miss?
The silver ball has spoken.
Let me
The gold ball has spoken.
Let me Formula and Cataract and MPEG too. MPEG not talking.
Alright, hold on.
I am drinking. Proper. Leeds, man. Since you want to go listen. Cider. Yeah. The first thing you tell me, say, I don't know if the pastor drinking the communion wine, brother. Because it's a crystal ball, we know you're looking at. Pastor looking at silver ball. Then a bust reflection you see. A bust reflection you see for looking at silver ball. A crystal ball if you're looking at pastor. Allow the communion wine. Alright, good. Your church sister them with a lock the wine cupboard. Yeah, plays and talks, especially for the match day and especially for the triple threat day. And the view of them, press up the like, man. The whole way I talk out with throat hole, we could be sleeping. Press up the likes them, press up the subscribe button. You understand? And keep the movement. So, I think a nil-all draw is what is going to transpire because we have picked an ultra defensive side. And I think the Serbians are a weakened team. We are a weakened team as well. So I expect a stalemate. And the real game would be against the Japan under-23, which would be a cohesive squad that has been together and in training for the Olympics, which is almost upon our doorstep. So they would be in the final stages of their preparation. And so that would be very interesting to see how we manage against a well-drilled and cohesive unit. So I hope to see a nil-all. Hope there's a goal in it to Nick. I always say Jamaica. Eternal Father, bless our land. No time for the foolishness. It's time to get behind the team tonight. I would like to pose a question to the rest of the panel after MPEG with his view on the score. Is who do we think will be the standout player? And also, I would like to ask, what do you think is going to happen with the goalkeeping situation? Those two questions are posing as a commenter.
MPEG and then Formula Sports.
All right, I agree with Cataract. I'm predicting a 0-0 draw as well because we picked an ultra defensive squad. So if the players show up with discipline, it's going to be difficult for the Serbians to score against us. I'm not so sure if we have the quality in midfield to distribute the ball to the strikers to finish. But if we get a lucky break or a lucky penalty, we might nick it 1-0. But I'm predicting a 0-0 draw based on the defensive nature of our team, and if the players show up very disciplined tomorrow. Against the under-23, I think the game will be more free-flowing. I think we'll be picking a more attacking team with what we have there. I think Ravel might start in that game, and we may lucky to win that one 1-0.
All right, bless up yourself. Thank you, sir. Formula Sports.
Yeah, I don't see us holding the ball for any significant amount of time in this particular game. I think we'll be under intense pressure because of our lack of ability to hold the ball. I think we'll be under intense pressure for most of the game, right? And you know, the thing about pressure is when we have to try and hold the ball, we have to try and get it out in wide areas, right? We have to try and improvise well on the counter. We have to try and find ways, right, to break up that pressure, so to speak, right? So that we don't have a situation where for the entire, because of pressure bust pipe, eventually the goals are just going to start leaking if we don't hold the ball, right? If we don't try and hold the ball for, you know, a significant amount of time to be able to break up the pressure. So, you know, I think if we stay disciplined and focused and compact, I think we can leave with a 2-0. I think we can. No, in terms of we getting 2-0. We getting 2-0. Not us giving 2-0.
Rome, I think the question should have been, what does your heart say and what does your head say?
Yeah.
Right. See, I mean, Shatta putting it out there. We didn't test saying we are winning 6-1. Shatta more confident than most of us. But let's go back to the question.
So I got enough gunshot of fire can Shatta.
Shatta drinking and smoking.
Shatta didn't even cheat liquor. We could jump back to Cataract earlier. Cataract, what was the question again?
No, but first of all, I want to say, listen, I have a lot of fun, you know, and I'm going to be protested because the coach is put up something earlier and he's fighting out the local base moderator. Remember, say I'm the local base moderator, that these are the things that happen at team. You don't just pick me a foreign man.
We export the quality overseas. We export our quality overseas. Cataract.
And that's what we are talking about.
Cataract, and that's what we are talking
about. Cataract, you don't fit into the you don't fit into the philosophy of coaches desk. So that's why
exactly.
Put up a thing down and I say good job. And the man are gonna get more game time, Rasta. Coach, me a play. Remember, say me a play for the club team. That is Reggae Boyz commentary, you know. I was there start from the side there, so come for
the man saying you get a tryout and you failed. You got to try out and you get
Rasta. I'm the highest number. I'm the highest. Hold on, I love the stats, you know. They have the highest number of likes, you know. They are substitute.
You buy them. Anyway, Rome, you're
no, but the question has asked.
We get an email. Listen, me man. We get an email from the board. Say Cataract name go back on the Rasta and never get called up. We just get an Anthony Granzi.
No, Rasta. No, stop.
Put it out there.
No, this is a problem, coach. You see, that is the problem when they have a local coach. I am suggesting now, I'm going to be looking for overseas hosts for this whole thing. I run with Coach Minzy, even though it's your platform.
My advice is don't go to the airport, okay, sir?
Coach Minzy, I'm fighting I have a few more of these down back here, because when I watch football sober, cannot watch football sober.
You mean Jamaica? Anyway.
No, in England, it's unruly, brother. It's unruly. It's uncivilized to come to a football match unless you're in the director's box like Stan Kroenke with his prawn cocktail and stuff, you know. In the
Lord.
But we the half-line massive in the bleachers upstairs, half-line crew, rum to witty. But back to the question, I was asking who would be the standout player, and I want to after we finish that, if we could look at what we expect from the goalkeeping situation.
I actually expect the Landmans to be the standout.
I believe the standout players on the bench. So I don't know. I can't really say anything.
No, well, the coach is seeing it my way. The coach watched the program last night. All who said we get knocked out. All who said we get knocked out.
Listen.
Let me drop the mic. Let me drop the buckle. Boom.
No, so you want
the coach Whitmore watched the program last night, and the stats affected his judgment, because you know Whitmore loves a Brocky Boo, as he was one himself. So, bro, congratulations. We did it, but we never want bench him. I wanted him to start. I wanted him to have 2 90-minute run out. And as I said, if anybody want to end it while they're staying up and we finish this one to go watch at Reggae Boyz commentary, I did a thing with Simon. Ravel Morrison, the great hope or the great hype.
You know something. If Ravel was in the team, we would have more optimism. We probably would say, you know what, Ravel is sitting into the right. You know what? I feel better about the team.
Well,
No Ravel in the
I
team.
would
I'm
agree
sitting
with
thinking,
you.
you know what? Let's
I would
try that
agree
to
with
get
you.
fixed.
I'd agree with you that Ravel would be, but O'Neil Fisher as the attacking right.
But
that-
Cataract is your fault, Cataract. Cataract is your fault.
Fisher.
You and Rome are responsible for Ravel not starting.
Yes.
So Harry, you have no complaint.
Listen, I am hearing that Tapa Whitmore was sat in Japan watching our show last night, right? I'm also hearing that Tapa Whitmore saw the commentary, saw the conversation, and decided that the arguments coming from one Cataract and one the fourth official was sufficient enough to put Ravel Morrison on the bench, right? So I'm just saying, there's a reason why I'm the substitute, and there's a reason why this man is another host, is another guest host as well. Maybe Tapa Whitmore is getting his information from some good sources. I don't know. I'm just hearing, just putting it out there.
That's
who will be the standout player?
Liam Moore.
Right now, there's a half an hour substitute. I'm taking over hosting. So you have been on the pitch for 3 hours and 30 minutes. I'm taking over. and a substitute. Who will be the stand? No, let's start with it. Who do we think will be the standout player?
Liam Moore.
In this game. I will take it around. Rome, starting with you. Who do you think will be the standout player in this game? I'm the starting 11.
Taylor. The goalkeeper, Taylor.
Okay.
Because Serbia, they are all over way.
Exactly.
MPEC, what say you?
Possibly the goalkeeper.
Devon, who you say would be the standout player from the starting 11?
Moore. I say Moore should be the standout player.
And Formula Sport.
Yeah, man. Liam Moore, man. I think you'll have another USA performance.
Remember to drop in the comments who you think will be the standout, and we'll read some of them. Iron Sport, man.
You know that, I mean, just because I want a local, a couple of local players to be in the World Cup squad. I want to see Dennis Taylor's had a very hard time. Almost every time this guy is supposed to keep for Jamaica, something goes wrong. And I think he will face a lot of shots tomorrow. So I'm hoping that he will have a good game and be a part of the Gold Cup squad. So I would say Dennis Taylor. Because he's had a hard time.
But don't mislead the people. It's 3.5 hours to go. It's not tomorrow. It's 3.5 hours.
Oh,
that's what I'm saying. Those in Jamaica, remember you can order upon the ends, I hope them sell red stripe and them pin a white rope on the ends. Stan Kroenke, who you think will be the standout player? And they will look at what we're seeing inside the comment section.
Damian Lowe.
Concise answer. Seems to be a consensus around Lowe. Michael?
Well, Winston saying the ref will be the standout player. I tend to agree with that.
Michael?
I was going to the goalie because I expect him to be very busy. But I don't know at what point you'd call it a standout. If he saves that over 85%, I'll be happy.
Okay.
I don't see Damien having bad games for Jamaica from I've seen him play. He doesn't really have bad games.
No, he doesn't have bad games, but I expect there to be a sieve coming through the right back position. So we're going to see a lot of and they do have aerial presence, so there'll be a lot of shots, and they do shoot from distance.
Okay, so let us just take a wrap up and look at what we see in the comments. Both myself and Rome, we're going to take turns at looking. We see Low. We say Bada say Low. Anything you read, you can shout out to Rome. I see Renee Harris say Damian Low. You were bringing up a comment. Who is some
Turgot. They bring up Turgot. Blair Turgot, yeah. There's a couple Turgots in there.
A couple of Turgot. Blair anyway that said Turgot. Jason Ferran said Turgot. Fresh God said Damian Low.
Turgot will be a player to watch.
Damian Low again. Damian Lowe again from Man's Not Hot. Mariappa, ODL. So we can tell what's in your cup. No, man, Mariappa will just give a steady game, I think, to be honest.
Giovanni did mention Wes Harding from earlier.
But to expect a standout game, I think would be unfair to the boss. Blair Turgot, Jervis Paris and Blair Turgot. Timo Daly and Blair Turgot will stand out. And Man's Not Hot. I hope it's hot chocolate you having in your cup, brother. I don't want you drink, I can't wake up. I can't change the channel. And so the man that we're drinking tonight, make sure your channel set for CBM in the car. We don't want you miss the button when you have the doubles. You understand?
The game is on CBM?
The game in Jamaica is on CBM, people, at 2 a.m. 2 a.m.
Why do you think people outside Jamaica can watch a game on CBM? Eh? Why do you think people outside Jamaica?
No, but you have some man in Iraq and them place, you know. Big up the people who serving in the military. You understand? They give out something. Big up my friend Firelinks. No, so we are the two big selectors of Reggae Boyz. We fly all over the world. Firelinks stay in Florida.
Did they change the time of the game?
Yes, they did. They did.
What time is it now?
Hold on. 2 a.m. is the game. Let me just go through these comments. Top 10 says Jevon East will score the match winner. So if he does that, I think he will be the man of the match. And anybody will score the match winner. Leon Clark said Ravel. That's a lone voice in the wind. Shatter said Ray and Tate. I don't know who. Leon Clark said Grant. And that must be Lee Grant. And I want to tell you something. I discovered today with the Grants, one of the two Grants, and I won't tell you which one, as a son at Manchester City. So I don't know this to you them, because we might very well need them picnic to come in Jamaica. Wes Harding, have an outstanding game. I don't think there'll be a save on the left, Michael. Wes Harding is good defensively. He just doesn't offer anything going forward. Let's see. Low and East. Everton Stevenson. Some man can't. That's why them get the pep question them wrong. You know. You give one answer, the man I get two. No, you have to make a choice, Everton. Come back again. DS Electronics and the goalkeeper. Javon East. Javon East. Naz Stewie is a Ravel. Man's that at same CVM not show at all. That means you must be in a Portland Valley or somewhere. CVM don't show in the valleys, you know. Serious thing.
You can't argue with your coach, kid.
CVM don't show in the value.
Tell Cataract, tell him if you go turn the pole, man, and make an next person stay inside and box and eat the box, man. You know them thing they go.
No, I just said change it. Get the metal hanger. Get the metal hanger and bend it right. And put it
no man, a pole. Him have to go up on the top of the roof and turn the big pole. You understand? Turn the thing there. Yeah, the antenna.
I know you are in Ocherios. So I don't think you should know anything about the pole and shades nightclub. I don't think you should know anything about the pole. All right, use the hanger, brother.
The hanger.
Get it. Right. And the hanger. No go pole. Top 10 at CVM stop show up on him TV. All when a cable. Lord of mercy.
All right, gentlemen. So here's where we are. Going to open a quick recap. Because we're getting notification from the board, so we have to wrap it up. So
we have 20 minutes to the board. I run up. What do you think about the goalkeeper? Who should come out in the second half? No, the board has to go wait.
Get right.
We want 20 minutes board. We want to run out. I want the at Gold Cup. I want to be one of the hosts. I am putting in my shift now.
Cataract. Yeah.
Who would think it's going to be the second goalkeeper in the second half? And then we're done. Go around again. Rome. Who is going to come out in the second half as the goalkeeper? What do you think should happen?
I don't think we should have a second half goalkeeper. I think you should play the full game. I think we need to see this goalkeeper and a full length. Because we all know who the number one goalkeeper is and will be. You understand me? I say we need to see this man in a full game. There's going to be plenty more games to come. If Whitmore is using this as a litmus test to see how good this goalkeeper is, this shouldn't be a case where we need to find out how good this goalkeeper is. This should be a case where we see him in a full game. We should already know how good he is, basically. We need to see him in a full game to see him carry himself. This shouldn't be a preseason game. This is a precursor to the future. So We need to see him playing in a full game. I don't need to see him come off halftime and then bring somebody on.
Yeah, but
Okay.
don't.
Hold on,
Isn't he a local goalkeeper?
You gangsters in town. We're going clockwise. I'm going to give you the last look. MPEC, what do you think about the goalkeeping situation? So there's two questions Rome raised. Should we have a halftime change for goalkeeper and run out a second goalkeeper? And if so, who should be that second goalkeeper?
All right, I am quite comfortable with the goalkeeping selection. However, I think Barnes should be given 20 minutes in the game to see what he has to offer. And based on how he performs in that 20 minutes, then we can decide whether or not we want to start him against the under 23. To take a gamble and start him against the under 23 and not knowing, what he has to offer in a game situation, I think that's a big gamble. So I think he should be given at least 20 minutes in the match later. And then based on what is happening, then we decide whether or not he should be starting.
Thank you, my brother. I am Sure Sports, Marlins man.
Yeah, like I learned, I used to have a coach named Lulu, Christopher Bender. He always said to me, if it don't broke, don't fix it. If this goalkeeper is having a good game, I am not going to change him. Just to give the other one a chance, depending on how the game is going. I'll just save him for the next game.
Thank you. And Michael has gone for a swim or a pina colada. Which one? You the hammock, Michael? What?
Both. We asked about which one.
Michael, so tell us the two questions. Part A, should we have a change at 45 minutes? And if so, who should that change be?
I'm treating it as an exhibition game, so I'm going to change at halftime and I'm going to bring in Dylan Barnes. And I do the same thing in the second game. Probably have Barnes start and then bring in young Taylor for the second half.
Okay, so I need an update from the people who said penalty. Who are going? Who are watching the game? Who get penalty? That sounds like
Pulisic got fouled. It should be a penalty. Pulisic got fouled in the box.
It is not a penalty, but
it
don't look like they're going to get the penalty. It don't look like they're going to get it.
It's not a penalty.
Okay, all right. So that's just for those. That's just
the guy just stood his ground. It's still there.
No, Devin. It's a penalty. Come on.
Hold on. But with that,
yeah, this is not the USA versus Mexico.
Stan Kroenke. Stan Kroenke.
Look, I think it depends on what Whitmore's objective is. Does he want to see his players against good competition? And if that's the case, then both goalkeepers should play. If he's really trying to assess these players based on the level of competition and figure out who should bring into the squad, then he has to make sure he knows a small sample size, that sample size is about good enough competition, and both Dylan and Taylor gets a chance to play one half each, not 20 minutes in one, and the one plays 65, 70 minutes. They should both play 45 minutes.
And I want to ask, is there a third goalkeeper there? And because nowadays we don't know who is there because the various cycles of
US get a penalty.
Devon,
it should be.
On the topic in your CSEC, should we have a halftime change of keeper? And if so, who should be given?
There is a third goalkeeper. Yeah. There is Dylan Barnes and Jalen White, along with Taylor.
Yes, I would make a change at halftime and I would bring in Barnes because I want to see him play against a better opponent instead of the U23 team.
And that's Devon Porter giving us his Admiral Bailey big belly man impression.
You just look up on his screen.
No,
all right, people.
Hold on.
Kata, we could hear your final thoughts because we're getting instruction that we have to cut off the stream. So we want to make sure we close it off in a proper format. So we could go around the board again.
Pamela, your thoughts and things. Keep it quick. Who should come on? And should we have a change or should it be the old game?
I think Dylan Barnes should start. If he's not having a good game, give the Humble Lion guy a run out.
And that's in the next match. Well, we told that the Humble Lion keeper started. Taylor.
So
you as well.
Come late.
Yeah, drinking some rum in your coffee.
Come late.
I thought it was Alex with his 1 month late. His 1 month late breaking news.
So, because of that, you are going to be penalized. No final thought for you. I am Show Sport. What's your final thought? And everybody keep it within 30 seconds.
Yeah, man. Listen, I just want to thank you again for the platform. Always enjoy coming on to speaking with everyone here. You know, expect the best for the game tomorrow. Just want to encourage all the persons watching. Check out the other people channel. You know, I mean, no coach wouldn't mind that. You know, subscribe to them channel. It's One Jamaica. You understand me? All we are doing work, and just let's support each other, man. You understand me? And this, just go over to Fourth Official, to Formula Sports, to Ryan, all the persons who have got to Cataract channel, Cataract High Power. You understand me? Yeah. But just go and like and subscribe, you understand me? Yeah, but always appreciate the time with everybody and looking forward to the game.
Michael, what's your final thoughts? I put on the pina colada, man.
Look, man, I'm a Jamaican. No pina colada foolishness here. A strictly right rum and red rum. All right. Anyhow, that's neither here nor there. Yeah, I'm looking forward to a good result, but being realistic, I think we'll struggle to win the game. I just hope we can, like I said, stay disciplined and the players give the coach something to actually work with. Because if they start just mucking about, man, then it's like a waste of time, and I don't want to see that.
All right. And the next time you're coming on the beach, make sure you have a few ladies in bikinis on the beach. You can't take the beach and you alone up on the beach. Now go work. Stan Cronky.
You don't know.
What's your final thoughts?
My final thoughts are: I hope we do well, but I'm not optimistic.
Short and spicy. And Devon, you can have 30 seconds plus 15 seconds that Stan Cronky gave you.
Hoping for the best.
Wow. Formula Sport. Look at the man and say you can start for your 30 seconds. And then after Epic.
The way the Serbians play under Stojkovic, there's a lot of space in wide areas. We should seek to exploit it.
So you're saying Blair Turgott has to step up and make his name?
Exactly.
All right, wonderful. Epic.
Well, I hope for the best. My heart hoping for 1-0, but my gut tell me it's gonna be a 0-0. So I hope the players just remain disciplined and hope they have a good game so that the coach can make some informed decisions.
Rome, what's what I take it up? I hope for the best. I hope everybody remains injury free, and COVID free. We don't get that sort of thing in the camp. Back here in Jamaica, they're gonna put down the gun, man. Just like watch some football. Let's get back to '98 when I had all the love. Tired of the killing. You understand? Anybody, if you have mental health problem, just reach out to somebody. Don't try finish it yourself. Because we've seen a couple of suicide here in Jamaica. And just say, watch some football and beat some juice, and tomorrow is another day. It's another day to watch Jamaica. So I just say that to that note, I want the country run right. I want the football run right. And I hope to see Ravel Morrison.
I'm on late now. I'm the US one.
People, we have come to the end of another weekend, another triple threat with the coach's desk. Thank you guys so much for joining in. Yeah.
Keys to the game: Reggae Boyz versus Serbia, tactics and gameplay. You guys can check it out when the video finish over on the Formula Sports.
Yes, we could plug that in real quick. As you said, go over look at the Formula Sports. Go check out that before we look at the game. The game starts in a couple of hours for some people. Get your rest as much as they can. Again, this is what we're at the end of the triple threat this weekend. We had a very, very decent, wonderful conversation yesterday. We're back at it again today. Football, sports has always brought this country together, brought our people together. We have so much to celebrate in terms of football, so much to look forward to. So let's get together again. Let's wish our country the best in this game coming. Again, let's go out and support each other. Go share the coaches' desk to your friends and family. Let them know that we talk about sports, football, track and field, everything. Talk about Dre Anywhere Sports, Formula Sports, Fourth Official YouTube channel. Let's go out and support each other. Let's build a platform where we can talk about football, we can talk about sports, and build our community and build our nation. So thank you very much, everyone, for joining in, everyone in the comment section interacting with us. Fresh God, as usual, coming in with the management in the comment section. All of the top 10, Jerome, Renard Harris, Steph Ewing, all of you guys, Conrad Smith, thank you guys for coming in and joining us this weekend. Of course, the Coaches X will be coming back this week with more videos, updates, on every sporting thing, anything that have to do with sports. And we'll be back again on Friday with another triple threat. Ready for the panelists to come back and do them thing again. By tomorrow, we will know how well the team prevails. We will know if we really do need an Anthony Grant or if Jamaica is well okay with the great Ravel Morrison. So people, we're leaving it at that. Thank you guys so much for joining. We appreciate you guys. Have a wonderful week. And good luck to Jamaica. We want to win it 3-1 later. Manners.
Respect.